welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo, this is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's actual pick a card reading, we are going to be doing a highly requested video that I am excited to make, that hopefully you guys are excited to watch, where we are looking at what new love is coming to you. So we already did new things coming into your life, so now we're going to look at new love. This is specifically for my singles. If you are here and you are not single, that is none of my business and I don't know anything about it. As far as I'm concerned, you're single. So we are going to start this reading by looking at two things. What type of person can you have new love with? And what kind of dynamic will you guys have together? And these two questions are very important. The reason why I say not who and rather what type of person is because multiple people could fit into this role. And it's possible, you know, like you could be more drawn to one or the other, or I'm trying to give you guys the opportunity to have characteristics and traits to look at instead of just holding on to maybe arbitrary things like your person is going to be 3 years older than you. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't be. I really want you to focus on the contents of the character of the person, though I will look at signs and things like that, but I warn you to not favor signs over the energies of the person, you know? Let's say like a person comes through as a Leo, and the first Leo you see, you're like, oh, that's it. And then they rob your house. And then you're like, Asa, what the heck? You said they were a Leo. And I'm like, yeah, but did common sense not say maybe it was weird that they asked what times you would be gone, if you had a security system, whether you had any dangerous animals at home? Like, you shouldn't ignore logic to the point of just, yeah, well, it's their star sign. I know I'm being dramatic, but the point being that energies and traits and qualities come before signs, because I could list signs and the person that comes that you end up meeting, that you find, may not have any of those placements. They could have those energies in different ways. You get my point. So you could be drawn to more than one reading in this reading, because you might want to explore what types of new love you can have with different types of people. So feel free to pick more than one. And especially if you get a group where you were like, ew, I'm not interested in this type of love. I'm not interested in this type of person. Well, my beautiful, sweet angel, that reading is not for you. And you should pick another one, because I'm sure there is one for you here. And then also the dynamic is important as well. You know, if it's a dynamic you've had in the past with someone, I would guess it would be different. Or if you're like, no, I want a new type of dynamic with a new person, pick another group. Okay, so those are the first two things we're going to look at. If that resonates, if that's something that you want, because if you want it and it sounds right, that means you found your reading, and that also means this is something that is coming towards you. So then we're going to look at using tarot. How will you know it's them? What will be the thing that, you know, is it the fact they don't rob your house? Is it, you know, what will clue you in to know that this is someone that you can have new love with? Then we're going to look at what makes this love new. Why is it different? You know, how is it different from your past loves or past love experiences? Then we're going to look at, is there anything you need to do or release to bring this love in that you're not already doing or that you may be unaware of? So even though I just said, you know, you don't have to like do anything or be deserving of it, just for your peace of mind, we're going to look at any blockages or things you could do to bring this in sooner, or that if you're not doing them already, they could just support you in this creation of new love. Then we're going to look at a misconception that you have about yourself, about love, about relationships that Spirit wants to clear up, that will help you look at and bring in this new love in a more aligned, positive, or just peaceful way for you. And then my charm people, you're going to love me. We're finishing this reading off with some charms, and we're going to use those charms to get signs and extra info about this new love and this new lover. So with that being said, that is what we're going to be doing in the free reading. But if you are interested in going further, we are taking a quick trip to Spicetown. Now, Spicetown is only going to be mild this time, but that's because we're exploring so many other cool, fun, interesting things. So we're going to start by looking at, how will you meet them? Now, if you haven't met them yet, or if you have already met them, we'll look at this, how will you meet them, will be when you will see them next. How/when. Okay, yeah. I wrote this kind of confusingly because like my brain was going a million miles a minute, as it is doing right now, and you're like, wow, Aso, can you just like read the thing? No, I can't, because I need to talk in a snooty voice and get all my thoughts out, otherwise I'll literally explode. Okay, and you don't want to see that because it's gross. God put our inside parts on the inside for a reason, because they're disgusting. Anyway, so we'll look at how or when you will meet them or see them next if you already know who this is. Then we're going to look at how/when will you fall in love or start a relationship. So I'm going to kind of leave it up to you, or leave it up to the context of the cards to determine that one. But I thought it might be interesting because like you might meet them, but maybe you don't come together for a while, or maybe you meet them and it's like instant, you know? Then, and especially if you already have met them but are just like friends or something, that this question could be interesting. Then we're going to look at what will they find refreshing/special about you. So refreshing was the word that came through, and just so that the meaning is understood, this is something about you that's different and just really like a relief to them, exciting. It's refreshing, it's nice, you know, things about you that are unique and special that they really love and that are very impactful for them, things that they really enjoy about you. And then speaking of things they enjoy about you, we're also going to look at what about you turns them on. So that is going to be an 18+ question, and this is going to be a potential 18+ question. We're going to look at what do they want to do to and/or with you. So I'm also going to leave that open, you know, to whatever they want to come through, because maybe they don't want to say something, you know, spicy. Maybe they want to say something so sweet that the spice will come automatically because it's so romantic, you know what I mean? And then we're going to look at what will their friends/family's opinions of you be after they meet you. So we'll see what they'll think of you overall. And then finally, we're going to look at how will them being in your life change it in an exciting way. Something that will shift your life and change it for the future. So thank you to everyone who goes over and checks out my extendeds. We have a lot of fun over there. I guess we need to have an extended squad. So shout out to my extended squad. Y'all are the best. And also shout out to my intro squad. Love you guys. Got an important question for you in a second. But that is what we're going to be doing in this reading today. Thank you for bearing with me as I gave you unnecessarily long explanations. So with that being said, we have 4 different cards for you to choose from and 4 different groups for you to choose from. So starting with group number 1, the card representing group number 1 is this Follow Me Faerie with the number 7 on it. And then for group number 2, we have this Swamp Maiden and the number 41 on it, and what looks almost exactly like me after 12 hours of sleep. And then for group number 3, we have this unnamed and unnumbered card with what I think is a mouse and a little bee. They seem to be having a nice time. I wonder what they're talking about. Comment what they're talking about. I think they're either talking about geopolitics or what they're gonna have for dinner. And then for group number 4, we have this Nurture card with this elf and what looks like 2 of his elf spawn and the number 24. Maybe they're inner children. I don't know. Up to interpretation there. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. Like I said, if you feel drawn to none of them, you can watch them in succession. You can pick ones to watch. This is one where you are not sequestered or stuck with one group. You use this to your advantage. This is helping you create the type of new love you want to bring in. This is just what Spirit is showing, and The rest is up to you. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead now and make our wish. And we have a special candle that we are wishing on today. Yes, this is Kino Tarot's candle that she made with my wonderful candle maker, Angelic Magic 888, Maggie, the Queen. She is a Leo. That will not rob your house because she's a wonderful person. But she will make your house smell nice. So if you are interested in any of my candles, I don't believe this candle is still available. You can use code ASO10 for 10% off, but you should go support Kino Tarot. She also has a new song out. It is very good. It is very excellent. Like all of her other songs, you should go over there and support her and tell her how talented and incredible and beautiful her voice is. It's as beautiful as your heart, as her heart, which if you know her heart, it's very beautiful. So yeah, go support Kino, go send her love. I love when you guys say that you came to her channel, or when we upload at the same time and you guys are like, I just love it. I just love it. I love her and I love you and I love us. Okay, so let's go ahead now and make our little wish together. May yours, mine, and all of our wishes come true. And intro squad, my question now. Okay, first of all, you guys have been giving me such good answers. So thank you, intro squad, for all of the quality, well thought out answers that you have been sharing. The question I have for you guys today is, what is something that you used to believe was stupid or not real that you now take to heart and genuinely believe? For me, where do I start? But I will say the one that I feel called to talk about, besides tarot and like spirituality in general, is the quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." I used to roll my eyes at that and be like, okay, yeah, like, sure, like I'm one guy, I'm gonna be the change. But I realize it's actually so true, because otherwise, because if you can't change, once you realize how hard it is to change yourself, you understand why it's so hard to change the world. And being the change, number one, makes you not a hypocrite, because if you expect other people to do it, not yourself, well, how is that fair? And number two, how do we know what that process of change looks like if we don't do it first? How do we know it's possible if we haven't experienced it? So I guess moral of the story, I learned be the change you want to see in the world is very real. And I can't say that that's always helped me make the best decisions and be the change, but at least it's something worth trying and believing in. So for you guys, what is that? I would love to know. Comment down below, share with me. I would love to hear it. Thank you, Intro Squad, for being here. Thank you for making a wish with me. But now we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for letting me read for you, and I will see you in your reading. Hi there, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Follow Me Fairy, this is going to be your reading on the new love entering your life. There is a very long, detailed breakdown of the reading in the intro where I answer a lot of questions, so you might please check that out before you assume that your question can't be answered. But we are going to go ahead and start by looking at what type of person you can have this new love with, as well as what type of love dynamic you will have with them. So starting with the type of person, we have the Storm. We have the Sun in Leo with Fortune. And we have Gossip. The light attributes: awaken consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. And then for the relationship dynamic between the two of you, or just love dynamic between the two of you, we have Chiron. We have overcoming challenge. And we have slow down, pause, and allow things to unfold. And I'm just gonna give Deja a little fix. Okay, so pile number 1. Very interesting energies. I'm going to tell you right now that some of you are going to listen to this reading and you're going to be like, great, thanks, ASO. I don't want anything to do with this. No thanks, not happening. You know how I said you can create whatever you want, and if you don't want something, you don't have to have it? I didn't foresee that there could be a situation where you wouldn't want it on paper, literally, on paper, on cardstock, but in but once it's actually delivered to your doorstep, once it's actually in front of you, you realize, oh, I don't want anything else actually. Oh, I can see why I didn't want this. I can see why I avoided this, but I can see why this is exactly what I need and actually everything that I've been looking for. And I want to start by explaining this Follow Me Fairy. I want to read what she says in the book, and I'm going to be very careful because there's lots of boobies in the book, which are lovely, but our corporate overlords don't approve. So, Follow Me Fairy. Follow your heart, follow your bliss, follow the magic in the universe. The Follow Me Fairy sees you. You are a unique creature. She celebrates the unique and invites you to follow her on an adventure that only you may have. Let your imagination soar and your heart flutter. Leave the mundane behind during this time with her. So there is the part where it says only you can have this adventure and unique. This person is somebody that... What type of person are they? The type of person that can completely shift, alter, and change what you believe to be true, what you believe to be real, how much you can love another person, what is possible, what is true. And I'm so sorry, guys. Actually, no, I'm not. I see now why I had this urge to read both Twilight and Midnight Sun at the same time, because this is the most Edward and Bella shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And let me be clear, it is literally, it is nothing like it in terms of story and how crazy that is, but everything like it in terms of the conditions of which bring you together. The conditions that bring you together. Okay, so we all know the story of Twilight, right? It's any person with a thinking brain would see it for what it is, which is horrifying. A human teenager willingly gives up her mortality to be with her lover forever. Before her brain has even reached its mid-20s. And like, yeah, we all recognize, okay, that's horrifying. But the thing is that they're not thinking about that. Well, Edward is. But they both love each other, even though it is completely incompatible in the beginning. It doesn't make sense. It freaks lots of people out and upsets lots of people. But it still happens, and it just is. And there is no amount of logic or anything else that could have torn them apart, because they were just meant to be on their freaky shit together. And when it comes to you and this person, I think y'all are meant to be on some freaky shit together. And this person is a cool person. Let me be clear. And this is the type of relationship where the reason why it's so new is because the same fears, the wounds, the uncomfortable nature of connection, all that is going to be present in this relationship. But what's going to be new is how you go about it, and opportunities to heal it, opportunities to change it, opportunities to understand the other person's wounds and how they operate, and to heal and grow together. This is a relationship that will take time to come together. You know, Bella and Edward didn't get married until like the fourth book. So, you know, you might have to fall in love with a werewolf in between then and now as well. Who knows? You might like, okay, I'm getting too Twilighty, but the point being is, and let me be clear too, it's far less dramatic than like, you know, teenager falls in love with a mortal Edwardian vampire. This is much more like two people that are technically emotionally unavailable and ideally would like love, but kind of avoid it, kind of want it, but also kind of don't because of how vulnerable it makes them, and because also you've got so many other things going on in your life and so many other things going for you. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, well, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm okay. Both of you have put a lot of work into yourselves. but neither of you have experienced the type of earth-shattering intensity that comes with the two of you coming together. Starting with this type of person, they're chaotic. They're chaotic, but they're fun. And also that chaos does not take away their ability to be successful. In fact, it might actually be the very thing that aids in their success. This is someone who's passionate, someone who, they could be outgoing or extroverted. They could be those things, but they could also be the type of person who puts themselves in extroverted situations or puts them in situations where they have to be outgoing because they're very passionate about a cause or the career that they do is important to that. There's a ferocity to them. And I also think that this person is really fun to talk to. They probably like reality TV. I mean, we have gossip here. This is somebody who is not going to be bored or act like they are above the silly nonsense of everyday life or the reality figures on television. They're probably going to enjoy that with you. But also this person has undergone a lot of intense things in their life that have forced them to become more aware of how they impact other people emotionally. Because I definitely think that this person in their own intensity can hurt others or be hurtful. I also think that they could have been on the receiving end of some painful experiences that as a result caused them to be maybe more chaotic or more careless with how they behaved. And as a result, they've had to undergo some maybe painful experiences around realizing like how their chaos or how their intensity of emotion or feeling could hurt others if they're not careful. But in terms of the type of person, this could literally be any type of person. What's important is that they fundamentally shift everything you thought was possible and real about life, love, and your place in the world and who can be by your side in it. They are somebody who is so endearing, and you're like, I swear to God, if you haven't met them yet, when you do meet them, you'll be like, wait a second, like, are you sure you weren't like made for me? Or you might not even understand why you have such strong feelings. You know what I mean? And like, this is another reason why I circle it back to Twilight, because as characters, Edward and Bella don't really get to know each other. There's just this intense thing. And then like they spend enough time together to eventually acknowledge it, and Bella figures out he's a vampire, you know. So they just like, there is no like, I like you talk. There is no like, oh, let's date and let's see each other. There is only, I feel extremely intense emotion for you on both ends. And things happen as a result. And that's kind of why I'm comparing it to them, and what I'm trying to highlight is like, there's just this immediate energy. And I'm not going to say like, oh, at first sight, you'll know that this is them. But what I will say is that very soon after getting to know them or connecting with them more, you're going to become aware of this really intense energy where even if you wanted to let go of them, or if you wanted to run in the opposite direction of them, you're not going to, because something keeps you coming back. Now, a very important caveat to that, this is not an ABUSIVE situation. I don't read for that. So if this person acts that way towards you in any way, it is not them. And because I understand how the energies I'm describing could sound like that. It is not that though. Although, however, in Twilight, there are themes, there's some controlling behavior there and some toxicity, but if those things exist between the two of you, they will be dealt with and healed or worked through or something. We'll get there. But what I'm saying is that like, this is not somebody who ever wants to intentionally cause you harm. This is somebody who is not deceptive. They could have been in the past, and they'll tell on themselves. And the only ways in which they would have been deceptive is they might have been a blabbermouth and had a hard time, like, you know, not like, they might have had a hard time keeping people's secrets. because they just word vomit. Or they're not even thinking, and they're just like, oh my gosh, like, guess what I heard, or guess what happened. Like, they are a very in the moment type person where they've had to learn to put thought in between feeling and doing. I feel the thing, I do the thing. They've learned to bridge that with, before I do the thing, is this a good idea first? So props to them for that. They are somebody who is looked upon very highly. And the thing is too, is we have this fortune card here, and it talks about in this deck, this card adds like a lighter interpretation to any cards that surround it. And so at first I was a little bit concerned with like the gossip, the storm, and like the Chiron here. I'm like, oh no. But I think what you might find is that you have this person has similarities to people from your past. But the difference is that how they express themselves is healthier. And even though they have similar personality traits, they act, behave, and treat you differently. And so you might have this realization when you're interacting with them. You might feel like at first, oh no, this is the past coming up again. They're just the same person in a different skin suit. And it's like, no, actually, maybe you're just comparing the past soul in a skin suit to this current one and missing out on all the ways in which they're different. So one big way they're different is that they're going to be more vulnerable with you, and also they're going to be they're not going to feel in control of the situation. They're not going to be in any more control of the situation than you are. So like, for example, if a lot of interaction hinges on them and they're not interacting a lot, or it just kind of seems like they're very nonchalant about everything, this is not that person, because the intensity is mutual and goes both ways. I don't think either of you were preparing for one another, but it's like after you meet one another and after you start getting to know one another, it's like, even in your conscious mind, there's this feeling of like, these thoughts of like, I can't believe this is where I'm at. I can't believe this is what I want to pursue. I can't, like, it doesn't make sense to you logically, but it feels so good on a heart level. And it also is like energizing and like connecting a lot of dots for you, because for a while you're going to have this kind of experience of like, why can't I like seem to push this person away? Why can't I let go of them? Why is this energy so intense? And you're going to understand why as time passes. I mean, the fact that we have slowed down here, this is a relationship that is you're going to have to take it slow. And you're both going to be in agreement with that. And that's actually a really good thing, because say, for example, a person comes in that shows some red flags, you will have the time and space to be like, okay, no, yeah, you need to go over there and stay over there and never talk to me again. Because for those of you who can have new love with this person, they will want to go slow. So someone who's rushing you or making you feel pressured, not this person. The type of relationship dynamic you guys have, though, is one that is very profound and one that is very confronting, because wounds that both of you have when it comes to connection and love have been dormant for quite a while, because you haven't had anyone around to kind of activate those wounds. So what's gonna, and let's be clear, in the time that both of you have spent since your most previous relationship or past experiences, you have done a lot of growing and healing. So when you first witness this dynamic, you're gonna feel like you regressed. And the truth is you haven't whatsoever. These are just things that haven't been activated within you because there has been no external, factor to bring that wound up. So things that you thought you didn't have to deal with anymore, you realize, oh, they were just there. I just, didn't have anything to make me aware of them. But the thing is you'll both have them. Like, and another parallel to Edward and Bella, I swear to God, those two are in a they both win gold in the self-loathing Olympics, and they both project assumptions onto one another, like, oh, they could never be into me, oh, blah, 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 I could, blah. And it's like, in reality, both of them are like obsessed with each other, right? So I could really see a dynamic where both of you kind of have these assumptions about each other and project these things. And it takes time and it takes understanding and vulnerability to really see the truth behind those more accurately. You're not going to be able to read one another very well because you're going to be reading one another through your fears and not through what you're actually seeing. You'll probably get better at this over time, but what's essentially going to be happening is like you're going to have so many opportunities to release, let go, and unlearn beliefs that you have about yourself that keep love out of your life, that keep self-acceptance out of your life, that keep courage out of your life, that keep a sense of connection and community out of your life, and realize that not only is nothing insurmountable, but also love is a force more powerful than anything we could consciously conjure or try to control ourselves. Like there is a wisdom and a science, I guess you could say, to how this energy will work between the two of you. It's like a perfect concoction meant to not only bring more love and connection into your life, but also meant to release the very things that keep love and connection out. And you're meant to do it together. And I think one of the most powerful things is that both of you recognize each other's power. Like I would be willing to bet you're an intense person as well. You guys are gonna, bond over that intensity. I would be willing to bet you both also have pretty strong egos. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think what you'll find is that I bet you both would have written the other off before you even knew one another, because you would think, just based on appearances, status, and where you both are at in life, you would both assume of the other that you wouldn't be interested. Like when it comes to the type of person that we have here is somebody who's going to profoundly change your life and shift what you thought was real entirely. They're going to be someone who is the perfect kind of combination of unique for you. They're someone who is successful. And I wouldn't say they work hard, they work smart. They're chaotic, they're fun, they feel things intensely. But they're also somebody who has a lot of prestige and respect. And if they don't have that when you meet them, they will gain that over time. I also think that they're very good at communicating with others. They're also very good at getting information from people. Like, I'm hearing me girls they're like Gretchen Wiener's hair, full of secrets. And the thing is that as over time they've learned to honor those secrets so that others can trust them. They've learned the value of trust. That's a big thing. And what I love too is the Follow Me Faerie has this rainbow behind her. And I think that's very symbolic of how this dynamic between the two of you works. It's like there might be chaos, there might be stormy energy not between the two of you in like a argumentative way, but just in a chaotic and upheaval, energies that you can't control. But once you move through the storm and you see the rainbow, it's like you're realigned in ways where you realize the storm wasn't uprooting things that were working. They were clearing away the things that were keeping you from being closer and more harmonious in the first place, if that makes sense. And so I think what's really interesting about this reading specifically is, like I told everyone in the intro, that you can choose and create this type of love, but like I said, I don't think that this is something that you would consciously choose right now. But I do think, and you probably thought this, you're like, yeah, my soul would choose some shit like this. And like you're on a conscious mental level that it's not necessarily what you might want, but your heart and your soul, you're like, there must be some really cool stuff here, because I wouldn't be so compelled, or I wouldn't still be watching this if it were something otherwise. Like, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this person. It's gonna scare you how much fun like you guys are gonna have together. And I'm laughing because I'm hearing Michael Scott in my head, saying he wants people to be afraid of how much they love him. Like, that's kind of, you guys are gonna be afraid of how much you love each other. Like, I feel like the awkward aspect of this is that there's gonna be this intense, passionate emotion and feeling for one another, and you guys are barely get to know each other, or have only known each other for, X amount of time before you both are consciously aware of that. How long it takes you to discuss it might take quite some time, because it is uncomfortable and weird. And on top of that, it makes a lot more sense to start from 0 and go to 100 than to be at 100 and then be like, okay, so how do we catch up to that? Because like, I would like to know your favorite color before I tell you that I like have the most intense feelings for you I've ever had for another person in my entire life. This is a very healing connection that helps you heal by highlighting in both of you where wounds still exist, where blockages still exist. But the thing is like, that's not all of what this is meant to be. This is meant to be an adventure. This is meant to be fun. So like, you know, while you might have these intense, heavy topics underlying a situation, underlying this connection, you're still doing really fun, beautiful things. Like, you guys, the fact that we have all this Leo energy here, like, you guys are going to be really playful. You're like, your inner children are going to come out with each other. Like, you guys are going to be silly. You guys are going to be adventurous. You're going to do a lot together, and you're going to have lots of fun. And that's what is going, and that lightness is necessary, because some of the things that you guys are going to heal together are really heavy and really dense. And so the lightness that exists between the two of you will be a necessary reprieve that will be something that just reminds you, like, healing doesn't have to be hard and terrible. Sometimes the hard and terrible part is realizing, like, oh, life can be lighter too. Sometimes it's hard and terrible realizing what we have to surrender to and make ourselves vulnerable to in order to have what we truly want, right? I just definitely think, though, that this is somebody that they will prove to be a profound source of growth, personal expansion, love, joy, and happiness. And I don't think you'll see them coming. I don't think that you would choose them on paper or choose this situation on paper, but after they've come into your life, it's like you wouldn't choose anything else. And it's like there isn't anything else. You can't even conceive of it. And I do think that in terms of their physicality and in terms of who they are, there are going to be attributes about them that are so attractive to you specifically. Like, maybe, like, they could be conventionally attractive. They could have a lot of things that people find attractive, but I'm talking like specific things. Like let's say you really like birthmarks. Like, they might have a really specific birthmark that just like gets you going, or they might have like a really specific interest that you love. Like, there are going to be specific things about them where it's almost like, it's like you were made for me. It's like, you're going to find that there's a lot of similarities between the two of you as well. You're going to find a lot of mirroring and circumstances where the two of you are just like the same person in two different bodies, where you're like, it's cool how we do this differently, but the energy is still the same. And like I said, there's just something so magnetic about this connection that neither of your hearts can deny it or stay away from one another until your hearts have explored it. Like, it's an essential. But that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move into the tarot now and go a little bit deeper. So thank you for bearing with me as I went through that explanation. I know it was kind of chaotic, but if you are interested in enjoying yourself, we are going to do an extended where we're going to look at things like how/when will you meet this person. We're going to look at how/when will you fall in love or come together in a relationship, if monogamy is y'all's thing. We are going to look at what they will find like refreshing and special about you. We're also going to look at what about you turns them on. So we're going to look at a little spice. We're also going to look at what they want to do to or with you. So that can be 18 plus, or it can be something else. I'm going to leave that open to this person. We're also going to look at what will their friends/family's opinions of you be. and how will they change your life in an exciting way once they're in it. So that'll be linked down below if you're interested. If not, just grateful you're here. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to leave a like or comment or subscribe. All of those forms of support are super helpful. So thank you very, very much. So the first question that we are asking is, how will you know it's them? And I feel like that is not a good question to ask here, because it's like asking, how will I know if I've had an orgasm? You will know if you had one. If you haven't, you will know once you have. So if you meet someone and you're questioning it and you're unsure, maybe not, but only time will tell. Because once you'll know, it'll be unmistakable. So I actually want to see for you guys, how will you know it's not this person? So for my pile ones, how will they know that that someone is not this person, is not the Storm of Bliss is something I just heard. Storm of Bliss, that is what you guys have going on. You have the 8 of Cups. So can we clarify that? The 6 of Pentacles. So what I can see here is that it's not this person if the person repeats behaviors of past people that you've seen, recognized, and like already walked away from. Like, you're gonna see it and know it and be like, okay, this is not them. You might feel an intensity towards them, but it's not gonna be the same thing as like what I'm describing with this person. And the only way you're gonna understand like the difference is by meeting them and actually feeling and experiencing it. So the 2 ways you will know that this person that who I'm describing is not a person you're asking about is if the person in question repeats behaviors that that you've witnessed in past people before, that you've already healed from, and that you can recognize them from a mile away and be like, oh yeah, hell no. Another thing is if this person is either emotionally unavailable entirely, like they are unwilling to talk about emotions in general, or they're somebody who is willing to walk away or leave at the drop of a hat. Somebody who does not like intensity, or somebody who does not like when things get real and things get serious. I think that will be a really powerful tell. And another with the 6 of Pentacles here is somebody who does not reciprocate or does not give to the same degree that you do. One big and important factor about the person in question that I'm describing is that things will be reciprocal. They may not be like 50-50 equal, but at the very least, it will be evident and apparent once you guys are beginning to get involved with one another that there's like a mutual thing going on. There's a mutual intensity. And so you might find that they mirror your awkwardness, or they are a little bit more withdrawn, or they're less communicative than maybe you would expect or anticipate, but it's not from a withholding place or nonchalant place. It's from a place of nerves, and you would kind of see it and witness it. So another sign that it's not them is the engagement between the 2 of you is very lopsided, and it seems like they only interact when you interact with them, and they never give as much as you're giving them. Like, it's very imbalanced. And if they expect you to give to them, if they expect you to prove your worth to them or some shit like that, it's not them. And like, that's the thing too, is the experience of being connected to someone that maybe you wouldn't choose to be connected to, or that you couldn't have anticipated you'd be connected to. Maybe that is a familiar experience, but what's unfamiliar is that this time this person is healthy enough and evolved enough to have a healthy relationship with you, and to not fall into similar patterns of behavior that past people did. But maybe for some of you, this is someone you already know. And if this is someone you already know, then when they show up able to have new love with you, they're going to be a different version of themselves than how you remember. And you will be different too. Okay. So now I want to see what makes this love new and how is it different? So Spirit, what makes this love new for pile 1? How is it different from pile 1's past loves and love experiences? There's a sense of control and empowerment that you haven't had in the past. But also I feel like this person as well has a much more balanced idea of what healthy control is and what unhealthy control is. Like, for example, maybe you've had controlling partners in the past because they were afraid of being cheated on or struggled with trusting. That doesn't mean you should put up with that. Their insecurities do not mean you should be under their control. It means that they should deal with those insecurities enough to be able to handle you living your life, and you guys can work together. But essentially, both of you are not looking to the other to be everything, to solve everything, to do everything. Both of you respect each other's sovereignty. Both of you respect one another's leadership and your sense of power. And also, both of you will feel in control of what is within your world to control. So like, for example, there are going to be aspects of this energy and the feelings between the two of you that are out of your control. You're going to be feeling feelings of love and passion for this person that will not make logical sense. Because for a lot of you, maybe you haven't even known them long enough, or maybe just doesn't make sense. But the difference is that you both still choose it. You both still want that. And there's a level of expectation that you both have of yourselves, of the types of partners you both want to be. And there's also like, neither one of you is going to fully dominate the relationship all the time. Both of you are going to take the lead when it matters, and both of you are going to respect one another's decisions, one another's opinions. I really just feel like too, when it comes to this person specifically, they are going to be more evolved in a way where they don't shut down or deflect or project or run away when confronted with something that maybe is hard for them or uncomfortable for them. This is somebody who faces challenge head on and accepts challenge. This is also somebody who's willing to work through challenges and not just run away when things get tough. And the thing is that when these things get tough between the two of you, neither one of you is going to want to avoid them. Both of you are going to want to work through things together. And the thing is that it's not toughness between the two of you in terms of a relationship. It's toughness in the sense of wounds that the relationship is bringing up that both of you have yet to address fully or release. I definitely think as well, there is just an equal level of respect between the two of you. And I love seeing the number 4 here, because 4 is an energy of stability. And I feel like one big difference between these past relationships is that there will be stability in this relationship. And also, as you get to know one another and as you establish a relationship, you will come to know what to expect from one another. And things will get easier and easier and easier. You will not have to figure out what's going on in the other person's mind. You can just ask. You won't need to placate the other or walk on eggshells. Both of you are going to want to face things head on and like mature adults. And I think that's going to be really different for both of you, because maybe you both have been the mature adult in past relationships, but you've never experienced a relationship with a partner who also wants to be a mature adult and do that with you. So I do, and I also think that there will be a sense of unquestioning loyalty between the two of you, where you recognize that there is no one else that could interfere with what we have, and that could is going to be that powerful, and you'll get it once you meet them. So let me see if there's anything you need to do / release to bring this love in. If you're already doing these things, then know that you're doing everything you can. And if you're not doing these things, then just know that they could help, but this is still coming to you whether you technically do them or not. Maybe just the rate at which it comes to you. So is there anything pile 1 needs to do or release to bring this love in? We have the 3 of Wands. I mean, like, all you need to do is, like, get ready. I think maybe you've already intuitively known that, like, something's coming. But also with this 3 of Wands here, stop assuming the worst. Release the idea that this is just another wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, this person's a wolf in wolf's clothing. Like, this is somebody who says, hey, I'm a wolf. I'm not interested in sheep. I want to, like, you're a wolf too. Like, it's a bit silly. Like, you shouldn't be afraid of yourself. Like, you guys have a level of power and intensity. You can handle each other. And what you'll find is it's actually super attractive to have someone who holds the same amount of power as you. And here's one thing. This is hot tea being spilled right now by your spiritual team. A lot of the people that you were drawn to in your past, you were drawn to not because they were actually powerful. You may have thought they were powerful, or they exuded some sort of charisma or something that made them seem powerful, but they were always mirroring back to you your own power. You were attracted to your power that they mirrored back to you. And not only that, you were drawn to people that had the same insecurities as you, and they dealt with those insecurities by appearing powerful or acting as if that weren't the case. It's like they acted boisterous or boastful, or, you know, like nothing bothers them. It's because they felt insecure and small and dumb and little. And so they did the exact opposite in order to feel better about themselves and in order to appear powerful. The thing is that like appearances and energies are 2 different things, and energy doesn't lie. And when it comes to this person, they understand that they're powerful. And they also have really high standards for themselves. So if you were wondering if somebody is this person, but that person makes excuses for themselves, never takes accountability, doesn't even know the word responsibility. Like, this person is chaotic, but they still get their shit done. Like, they wouldn't be successful if not. There's going to be a level of accountability there. And I feel like for you, really all you need to do is just continue doing your thing and trust that this is coming in the perfect time, in the perfect way. If anything, maybe just pay attention to what parts of you maybe are afraid of opening up to love again, and just giving them the love and reassurance needed to know that when this does come along, you'll be ready for it. Even if you don't feel ready, then it'll be okay. So finally, I want to look at, before we get into charms, I want to look at a misconception about yourself, about love, about relationships that Spirit wants to clear up. So Spirit, what is a misconception that pile 1 has that you want to clear up? What is the truth about love, themselves, relationships that they need to know? Aww. You have this misconception that genuine fulfillment and familial happiness is possible, but not for you. And that's wrong, because it not only is possible for you, but it's meant for you. Otherwise, why would you desire it so deeply? Another misconception you have is that relationships can even be that good, or that they can't be that good, or that if they are that good, that's not what you're meant to have. And that, once again, is not true. One misconception that you have is the idea that true fulfillment will never be there for you, or that you will never find the type of love that these 2 people have. A misconception that you have is that emotional fulfillment can never truly be yours. Not only will it be yours, but this relationship is a powerful caveat to getting there. Because a lot of the internal things that might keep you from enjoying the present, from recognizing when fulfillment is right in front of your face, those things are going to be leaving. So you're going to have so much more room and space to recognize and acknowledge all the joy and the love that is going to be added to your life, and that is going to continue to be added to your life. And also, you might have a misconception that happy relationships don't have challenges, or that happy relationships aren't hard or intense, or have or that don't go through rough patches. And that's also not true. You can have both. And that, in fact, really, really happy relationships can also be tough ones. I think it depends on, the type of person. Some people need constant growth, other people don't. I think for both of you chose growth this lifetime as souls. And you guys are going to find a lot of fulfillment and happiness in that. And I think another misconception you might have about love that Spirit wants you to shift is this idea that happiness can only look one certain way, either to you, or fulfillment can only look one certain way, or there's only one path to fulfillment. There are many. And not only that, there are an infinitesimal amount of ways that you could reach emotional fulfillment, understand what that looks like, and continue to experience that throughout your life. It will never be denied to you, and you can only never have it if you don't believe it exists or are unwilling to see it in front of your face when it's happening, or have an unwillingness to believe that it could happen to you, and so you never change or open yourself up to do anything differently. But just know, fulfillment and joy are not, romantic love, familial love, are not things that are meant to be for other people except you. They're meant to be for you as well. But we are going to go ahead now and finish off with some charms and some numbers and letters. And these are just going to represent signs you might see, letters and numbers that might be significant to this person. We're just going to see signs and any extra information about this new love or new lover. Okay, so we have MN. That made me think of Minnesota, and I saw Pom come out, and it made me think of like a Pomeranian. So dogs, or we also had a German Shepherd on one of the cards, so like those could be significant. But we have the letters M, N, T, G, P. This is a letter 0. Oh, and we also have a J. So what's that song? Like, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough to keep me from getting to you. I feel like that song could be significant to you guys, or just very like a good example of how determined this person's spirit is to find you. We also have this crescent moon here. So one of you could be born on a waxing or waning crescent moon. You could meet one another on a waxing or waning crescent moon. But also with the moon being here, I feel like there's going to be a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the events leading up to meeting this person and recognizing that this person is them. But also when it comes to like being involved with each other, the potential to project your own emotions onto each other, project your own fears and illusions onto each other is very palpable. So honest communication is really going to be essential to bring clarity between the two of you, because you guys might assume things about the other that are not even remotely true and create miscommunications as a result. And you know, the intensity might create nerves and fears around being vulnerable, and so then that could just conflate into a situation where things are a lot more dramatic than they needed to be, or things take longer to be worked out than they need to be. Clarity is definitely powerful, and opening the floor for that is definitely important. But this connection and this person, like, they are going to bring out fears, and they're going to be really confronting and challenging to sit in, especially because of how this person's going to make you feel in positive ways. And so it's going to be up to you to be honest and transparent with yourself about those, and know that just because those fears are there doesn't mean that there's something sinister happening underneath the surface or something that you're not seeing, but rather it's showing you what within you isn't comfortable with all the good in this situation. What part of you is feeling unsafe, is feeling vulnerable and exposed by this love. Like, those are the parts of you that are going to need love and support, and those are the parts of you that are just going to show you where more love is needed within you, and that will help you see more clearly. And that's the thing, is like, just love, like, you're still probably going to feel those fears until they're fully released, and maybe they never will be. But that's why it's very powerful and positive and beautiful to have someone who knows and understands that, because you can share with them and they can be understanding. They won't take it personally. And on top of that, it gets easier and easier to release them because you have evidence to the contrary, you have tools to handle it, and you have someone on your side that is willing to help you work through them as well. You're going to do that for each other. And you guys are going to find a lot of catharsis in just opening up and sharing about what you're so fearful about, and realizing how healing it can be to share those with each other and realize that, like, oh wow, we both feel very intensely about each other, and oh wow, this is scary for both of us. Well, at least we can work together. That is a big thing. You guys will be working together on this. Neither of you will want the other to suffer in silence or alone, and both of you would be angry at the other for keeping something like that between the two of you. But we also have the breathe card here, and so I definitely think when fears come up, when intense emotions come up, breathing through them is going to be a powerful thing. But I was also doing yoga today with the queen herself, yoga with Adrienne. And actually, she was talking about what if your breath was your spirit? And I feel like there's a lot of potent spiritual energy between the two of you. And I feel like you're going to find that you guys give each other new life, breathe new life into each other's lungs. And like, I definitely feel like this is the type of love that's going to make you both feel alive again. We also have this ring without a stone. So I do think that there are some predetermined things about this. Like, I think you guys are going to meet each other no matter what. I think you guys are going to come together in a powerful way no matter what. But how things unfold and what you both end up creating, I think, is up to you and not set in stone. So for example, you guys might find that after being together for a while, maybe the intensity is something you don't want, or maybe like for example, let's say that this is someone that you were meant to have in your life for a season. Not saying that they are, but let's just say, you know, that intensity, and you've learned the lessons, you've grown the growing, you've done the stuff with them. And your heart's just kind of releasing it, and you don't feel the same way anymore. You know, you could find that this was just a situation like you needed to go through, but like wasn't end game. But for others, this could very well be end game, but it's up for both of you to choose that and to want that. Like, the thing that I'm getting here is just that nothing is truly set in stone. The most important things when it comes to this relationship are, what do you want out of it? What are you consciously creating? And how open and honest are you willing to be about that? And how present can you be with one another in that process? Like, I definitely think whatever you want to create here, you both can have. And I feel like one of the cool things is that you will find, like, you guys are remarkably on the same page, whatever that ends up being. But it's not set in stone. So just know, like, I do feel like this person is meant to come into your life. I do think that they're going to have a powerful effect on you, but I do not think that they have to be a part of your life forever if you don't want that, or you don't have to have a conventional type of relationship with them, or have, like, there are so many possibilities of what could unfold here. If you want, you know, the nuclear family with the white picket fence, you can have that. If you want something unconventional and different, you can have that. Like, I feel like with you and this person, whatever you both are drawn to and desire, you're going to find the other person wants something similar, or realizes they want something similar after they learn about it from you. So just know that, like, not all of this is out of your control. You still have factors that are within your control. And I think also, you know, you could still choose differently than this person. Like, despite the intensity, you could still say, nope, I want something easier. I want something where I don't have that, like, intensity. But I will say, like, in doing that, this person's still going to be in the back of your mind. It's not going to get rid of the feelings. You're still going to have those feelings. It's just you're going to have conscious acceptance that you chose differently. But with the World card being here, which I just realized now there are boobies, but I feel like they're so small, like, you can't even see them. So maybe it'll be fine. But with the World card being here, they could have fixed placements. So Taurus, Leo, which we already saw, Aquarius, and Scorpio. They don't have to. But I also think that there's a lot of fulfillment to be had here. You could meet them after a time of completion, or maybe they're from a different part of the world than you. You could meet them after a significant life event, like maybe after you graduate, or after you move somewhere, or after you join a new job, or something like that. I do feel like they are going to come into your life at a time when you are completing a powerful cycle and starting a new one. Or I do feel like you and them will complete a lot of cycles together when it comes to like past stories and situations that are no longer true for you. Like you guys are going to do a lot of healing, a lot of up leveling. Like you guys are going to evolve a lot together and grow as people in profound ways that stick permanently. Like, and I also think that no matter what unfolds between the two of you, the core energies experienced between the two of you, which are going to be things like love and respect and mutual trust, like those are not going to change. They're going to be unwavering. And I also think that you guys are going to attract a lot of attention when it comes to this relationship. Like you're going to have people talking. So, you know, once again, Edward and Bella, like, you know, all eyes are going to be on y'all. Like, especially if you live in a small town, you might have people talking. Let's see. We also have the Phoenix. Today is a new day and the new you is lovely. So I definitely think as well, like we have a Phoenix here. So a Phoenix could be a significant animal or a significant sign for the both of you. But I also think that, you know, there's a lot of forgiveness and understanding between the two of you. And I feel like both of you will motivate the other to be your best selves and to see one another through the lens of I know what's in your heart and I know who you are trying to be. And if you fall short of that, we can work through it. And it's like that's going to be an understanding for the both of you. And I feel like both of you are going to have a lot of just understanding for the other. And you're going to find too that as you guys will evolve and you'll love who you both become even more than who you started as, because you get to see those evolutions and be a part of those evolutions together. I feel like you guys are going to love learning about one another and experiencing the new versions of each other. But we also have the best exercise for the heart is to reach down and help someone up. And so I definitely think both of you are going to do that with each other. And I would also say a sign that this person is the right person is they're going to be someone who likes helping others and who, you know, really loves being a source of support for others. You can lean on one another for sure. And the numbers on the back are 39, 42, 52, 45, 20, and 55. So any of those numbers could be significant, but pile one, I'm going to move over to the extended now. This was probably an extended reading in of itself, but if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel, so thank you to everyone who does that. If you would like to show me support in other ways, you can like this video. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ASO10 for 10% off. You can check out the extended because it's going to be really good and worth it. You can check out other videos, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope that this reading resonated, or just at the very least, I hope that it seems less overwhelming now that I've explained it. But I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. I love you guys so much. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Swamp Maiden card, this is going to be your reading on new love potentially entering your life. Should you like and like this reading and type of person, this is going to be your reading. Full breakdown of the reading in the intro. I highly suggest checking that out if you're confused about the energy check part. This reading is for you if you like the type of person being described and the type of relationship being described, and that's something you're wanting to create. If you don't like it, choose a different group. The universe is not going to force you to be with someone you don't want to be with. Human systems might do that, but this is not feudal Europe, and I'm operating under the assumption that you are not in a monarchy from a couple hundred years ago watching this somehow. So gonna take a wild guess there and say that you're probably not in those circumstances. And I hope whatever circumstances you're in, they allow for freedom of autonomy. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what this type of person that you can have new love, who this type of person you can have new love with is, and what dynamic you can have with them. So to start, we have the mentor, we have the engineer, the light attributes: ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. The shadow attribute is reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. Society in a nutshell. But I feel like not even just society, it's us too. It's so real. Okay, and we also have Moon in Capricorn with practicality. This person does not need to be a Capricorn moon or have any Capricorn placements whatsoever in order to be this person. This could be helpful for you, but do not take the placement as the energies are more important than placements. Take placements as confirmation, not a sign that this is the wrong reading, especially if you like all the energies. Anyway, as for the type of dynamic you can have with this person, we have Iron. We have ask for help. What do you really need? Be willing to accept support and let go of control. And we got everything in there, so let's get started. I do just want to highlight how interesting it is that we have two different cards where somebody is submerged in water. And I'll kind of get into partially why I think that is, but I want to start by looking at this type of person. And this is definitely somebody who is, well, for some of you, they are type A. But I don't think type A and for some of you, this person is very type A. For all of you, this is someone who operates from a very logical perspective, from a very practical perspective, and is somebody who looks at things quite logically and linearly. They are somebody who is not comfortable with sharing their emotions and likely views sharing their emotions as a sign of weakness. They could literally be an engineer or a mentor, a teacher of some kind. They could teach, they could be a professor, they could be, they could do something mechanically like work on machines or invent machines, create machines, whatever they do. They do it well and they work really hard. This is someone who works really hard, who not only works really hard, but has high standards for themselves. I have a lot of Capricorn moons in my family, and that sort of energy creates incredibly hard workers and people that can be highly committed to goals. But Capricorn moons can also be very sensitive, and a lot of people may not realize how sensitive this person actually is, because they are somebody who can play it cool. You will never know how they are feeling on the inside, because they have an incredible poker face. Maybe they do play poker. If they don't, they might have a talent for it, because they're hard to read, emotionally speaking. They like to play it cool. I just heard STEM smugness, which, okay, STEM majors, don't get mad at me, but like some STEM majors, I think you can agree, can be kind of smug, you know, when they're talking to liberal arts. I was a liberal arts girly, so, you know, I got a little bit of the, what are you gonna do with that? Like, oh, that's not a real major, that's not a real job. And I'm not saying this person is like that, but I just kind of feel like the face on the card kind of gives me STEM smugness. But STEM is powerful and important, and that smugness comes from a place like, you know, it is a flex to be good at math and science. It's something, it's a gift I don't have. But this is definitely somebody who, in terms of the creative aspects of life, the emotional aspects of life, they are very they've got a lot to learn. And I think in different ways, both of you have wisdom that the other doesn't, and that's part of what makes this type of love very powerful. But when it comes to this person, this is someone who's solid and dependable. They say what they mean and mean what they say. They could be absolutely miserable in a commitment, but they're not going to stop until they see it through. I would be willing to bet that this person, if like they have either never been in a marriage, or if they have, the only reason it ended was because of circumstances beyond their control, or like there was a violation of some sort of agreement that they came to beforehand. Like, this is somebody who does not make decisions based on their own happiness. They make decisions based on what works and what will further not only their goals, but the well-being of those they care about. I wouldn't be shocked if this person has a strong connection to their mother or a motherly type figure. And that could be part of the reason why there's some emotional... I wouldn't say this person is emotionally stunted. That's not fair. It's more so just that they don't put themselves in situations to be emotionally vulnerable, and a lot of their experiences in the outside world lead them to be in environments that are pretty emotionally sterile and dry anyway. So they don't have to be in situations where intense emotion arises. I would say oftentimes the most intense emotions that they feel are pangs of hurt or frustration or feeling slighted when they're not being recognized for the work that they put in and the work that they do. I think that this is the type of person who works really, like, they work really hard, but they do their job so well that people think it's easy. And I also think that this is the type of person who wants to fix things in terms of, you know, sometimes when we have problems, we just want someone to listen to us and validate us and understand. And then sometimes when we have problems, we need a solution and we need it fixed. This is the type of person who is great to go to if you need a problem solved. But if you just want someone to listen to you while you vent, they might be a hard person to talk to until they know that what would fix or what would help would be to just listen. Because this is someone who takes direction well. I do want to say this is somebody who is not a mind reader. And if you're expecting, and if you want this person to know how you feel or to help you meet your needs in a certain way, all you need to do is tell them, because they want to do that. And if they didn't, they would tell you. This is somebody who, they hide their own personal emotions, but they have no problem being honest about like what their goals are and what they want to accomplish. I definitely think that a lot of people look up to this person. They're a natural leader, but they're also somebody who misses sight of certain perspectives that could be helpful to them because they are so focused on looking at things in a logical, linear way. Precisely. They look at things mechanically. And that's an interesting point of where you come in, because this romantic and loving relationships, I think, are something that, you know, maybe this person has a lot of experience with, but I think that they in the past have chosen partners that were deceptive or that were needy. Not in a way that's like emotionally needy or something like that, but in the sense of, I think this person chose partners in the past that needed saved. That's the right word I'm trying to say. This person likes to play, you know, the captain save a person, if you know what I mean. And they've gotten themselves in a lot of trouble doing that. They've experienced deception, betrayal, a lack of loyalty. And I think it really bewilders them, because this is the type of person to say what they mean and mean what they say. They set strong boundaries and don't share certain things, and can be quite private and secretive when it comes to matters of the heart and things that they're emotional about. But for the most part, they kind of expect people to be like them, in the sense of, well, I don't get that. Why, like, if someone made a purely emotional decision, they would not understand that. Like, if someone quit their job in the heat of the moment without anything else lined up, they would be like, that's the dumb, like, why would you do that? That's a terrible, dumb decision. They will not make spur of the moment decisions based on an impulsive feeling. This is someone who is, they honor their commitments, they honor their agreements, they honor their schedules. I pray for anyone who goes on vacation with them, unless there's a prior agreement, because they are going to adhere to whatever you guys set up to begin with. They are someone who's also quite punctual. They do not like people being late. And they're kind of a stickler for certain rules like that. They do have kind of a traditional viewpoint of the world. And the thing is I don't know what the spirit means by that. I mean, it could be traditional in terms of like, you know, the Western idea of like the traditional nuclear family. Like they could have traditional ideas like that, but that's not really what I'm getting. What I'm getting is like traditional in the sense of whatever values their family instilled in them, they're traditional and loyal to those because they have found them to be sound ideas to hold on to. And I feel like when it comes down to it, this person does not really know a lot about what makes them happy, because recognition and acknowledgement for how hard they work and how far they go is fulfilling and satisfying for them. And truthfully, I don't know if they get the same level of fulfillment, at least right now, the same level of fulfillment and satisfaction from purely selfish things. It's almost like they have to be serving in some sort of way in order to feel good. Which makes me kind of sad. And I wonder if your influence could be a powerful change in this. So let's talk about the type of dynamic you can have with this person. Because I would be willing to bet you're probably more emotionally intelligent, more creative, and in a lot of ways you guys are polar opposites. However, you could be a lot like this person as well. And maybe the opportunity to explore your emotional depths is something you will explore together, but I would be willing to bet for a lot of you, you're probably the more creative, emotionally sensitive type, especially if you're here watching a tarot reading, because this person, if they saw the notification to this video, they would probably be like, okay, and then watch some video about like a new AI development or some shit. They would scroll on by me, which is understandable because this is probably not what they're interested in or even believe in it. Valid. So for you guys, the type of relationship dynamic you can have is really interesting. This is a type of relationship that is so solid, nothing can shake it. And because nothing can truly shake it, that allows for a lot of powerful healing. The fact that we have let go of control here, I think for your person, there's going to be a lot of experiences where they're going to have to learn to embrace their emotions. I mean, the fact that we have two figures, literally and these two figures are underneath water. So there's a lot of emotional intensity here, emotional depth, and a deep sense of loyalty between the two of you. And I think part of that comes from the fact that even though you guys may be very different people, if you are very different people, there's going to be a learning curve of understanding how you guys differ and how things are going to work out. But once that's established and understood, there's going to be a status quo, and it's not going to verge from that. You're not even going to have to like ask this person things beforehand because you're going to be so familiar with what they would do in that situation. Like, you're going to know when they say, I'm going to be home at 5, they're going to be home at 5. And if they're not home at 5, they're going to text you and they're going to let you know why. And if they don't text you and let you know why, they're going to know that you're going to worry and they're going to call as soon as they can. Like, the only reason they wouldn't even get in contact with you is if it would be impossible to do so. Like, and once it was possible, they would do it at the soonest moment. Like, this is somebody who is so consistent and solid, and like, they don't need, this is the last person you would ever expect or that would ever ask their partner, would you love me if I was a worm? Because in their mind, they would be like, well, no, you shouldn't love me if I was a worm. I don't even know if worms are capable of feeling love. And I think at that point, I would be concerned about dirt. I would want your gross human hands off of me, and I would want to go do earthworm shit, which is so real. I like this person. And so in the example of that I'm trying to explain, if you say that you love them, if you say that you care about them, if you have a commitment to them, they trust in that. They're not going to need constant validation or things like that. However, if you are someone who needs to know if you would be loved if you were a worm, they might need to learn to lie to make you feel better because they wouldn't love you if you were a worm. they wouldn't know how to connect to you. And yeah, they wouldn't love you if you were a worm. They might have some weird love for this worm that they don't understand, but like, let's be real. Like, if you are insecure about the fact that they wouldn't love you if you were a worm, that's a you thing. That's something you need to work on, not them. But, you know, if they know you just want to know that they love you and placate your outlandish worries, they'll do that if they know it's important to you. The fact that we have asked for help here, that's really significant, because I think for both of you, you're going to need help in understanding one another, and you're going to need help in learning how to translate to each other what's going on, and also to just ask for support in general. This person right here that we're looking at is definitely someone who likes to do things on their own terms, and they are a natural leader, and they are someone who only trusts themselves to get things done. And I would be willing to bet you probably have a similar experience where, you know, you probably only trust yourself to do things and don't really like to ask other people for help. And that is going to be something that you both have to face, because you can't really have a partnership if you're unwilling to share and open up. So, you know what, like what's the value of the partnership if you're just two individuals coexisting, right? That's not really a partnership. That's two individuals coexisting. So I definitely think that for both of you, there's going to be a mutual contribution and mutual effort built into a solid structure that becomes the dynamic of the connection / relationship between the two of you. And one of the most challenging things about that is you both are going to have to let go of control in terms of things that both make you uncomfortable. For this person, it might be opening up more deeply emotionally. You know, maybe you're someone who really needs like words of affirmation, and maybe that's like what they're the worst at, is telling you and expressing how they feel. So they're going to have to learn to let go of the insecurity around that, or learn to, you know, accept that maybe they're not as good at doing things in that way, but the fact that it's meaningful and it's the intent that counts, like that would be big and important for them. I feel like for both of you, you're going to have your insecurities rise to the surface, and you're also going to have your deficiencies become apparent. And deficiencies, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like this person is deficient in emotional expression. You might be deficient in I don't know. You might be deficient in revealing the depths of your emotions because you're afraid you'll be rejected. Well, I guess that's kind of the same thing. Maybe both of you have that. Maybe you're deficient in reliability, and maybe this person will just help you be on time more often. I could use that. Yeah, can you give me their number too once you meet them? Because like I could use some help with that, with punctuality as well. So like we all have deficiencies somewhere, but I think wherever you guys have weaknesses, I feel like I'm calling it deficiencies because we're channeling this person. I call it, like they'd say, it's deficient rather than weak. I like that. You guys will make each other better, and your strengths complement one another, and you make up for each other's weaknesses. But there's going to be a learning curve with that. And at first it might be kind of awkward and weird. And one of the things that I will say is that in the beginning of this dynamic, before you know each other better, there's going to be a lot of room for the both of you to project insecurities onto each other. And, you know, that is going to be something that opens up a lot of interesting dialogue and growth. But if the way that you handle those things is unhealthy, it might lead to arguments or fighting. But the thing is those arguments will lead to conflict, will lead to an understanding, a deeper understanding of one another, and an understanding of, oh, we can have conflict, and actually we become stronger for it and better for it, and that conflict doesn't become a problem again. Because one thing about the both of you is you both know how to learn from your mistakes, and that is a very powerful and important thing. You hold each other accountable, and you also, this is what I love, as this relationship evolves, the both of you are going to have this third entity that you care for and protect, and that is the sanctity of the relationship you forged and created. And there's going to be structures and expectations and understandings of how that operates, and if it changes, you guys are going to talk about it together. you're not going to be wondering what the other person, how the other person is feeling or what they're expecting of you, because you're going to know. You're not, and I think what you're especially going to realize over time is that you don't feel worried or stressed out in the same way maybe you did in the past, because you know that if you need some sort of support or reassurance, your person is happy to give it to you when you need it. They just need to know when you need it, because otherwise they may have no idea that it's a need that exists. While they may not be the most intuitive, you will be very helpful in showing them how to connect with certain types of people that they've maybe been inept with connecting with in the past. And I think it'll help you understand the perspectives of people that have bewildered you for a long time. Still might not be the one, still might not like it, but it might give you better understanding and also help you connect with types of people that maybe you struggled to connect with in the past. But one of the key things here is that you are safe to explore your shadows with each other. And shadows are not bad. They're just the things within us that are unseen. So your person, one of their shadows is emotional expression, over emotional expression. So they're going to have the opportunity to explore, why do they hold that back? Like, for them, there might be a real thing of, why do I hold my emotional expression back? Like, Pile 2 really loves when I do that. It makes them feel good. It makes them happy, and I want to make them feel good and happy. And so then that's going to be something that they work through and and you guys talk about. And I think that's a big thing, is communication is going to be really important here. And I also have to highlight, I've been looking at this the whole time and I keep forgetting to mention it. We have 41 and 14. And 1 in the tarot is the Magician, and 4 is the Emperor. These are both highly masculine energies. And I think that for the both of you in your relationship, there's going to be a focus on structure and form, Emperor energy, and manifestation and creation, which is the number 1. So I think that both of you are going to work together. This is not going to be the type of relationship where you're able to read one another's minds and always know intuitively what's going on in the other person, because if you try, you're going to realize you're far off. This person might be off in their head thinking about some sort of formula, and you might think that they're considering breaking up with you, and that's not even on their mind. They wouldn't even fathom it. And so that would be an area for you, for example, where you'd be like, okay, I have fears of loss. I have, that's where you get to look and be like, okay, there was a misunderstanding here. And there's just a lot of room for growth. And I think what's really cool about this type of relationship is just it is so solid. And however you guys need to grow as people, you guys give one another ample room, understanding, acceptance, and forgiveness for however you need to go about that, or however events unfold that help you learn. I feel like this person is going to be one of your greatest teachers, and it's likely you'll be one of theirs as well. I do wonder how the dynamics of power will be between the two of you. I think if it's not 50, I feel like this person likes to lead and likes to be in control, but also they're not they wouldn't take away your own autonomy. I don't think they're into that, but you might naturally give them more power just because you might really look up to them. So I do think that will be something where both of you will have to maybe work on just the dynamics between the two of you. I do think though there's going to be a lot of passion and a lot of physical chemistry. We'll look at that in the extended, but I definitely think that overall this is the type of relationship where you can trust one another. It may not always be Disney romance. In fact, I don't know if Disney romance is really part of this person's playbook, but this is real life, not a happily ever after. This is the type of person that you can build a life with and trust. This is the type of person who can be a partner and who will never claim to be perfect, but will always do their best and will honor their commitments and see them through. This is the type of person who is not going to enter a marriage unless it literally makes sense and it's something they truly want. This is the type of person who's not even going to enter a relationship unless it makes sense and it's functional and it supports their life. Their goals are very earthly and very practical. They don't have much value. Like they right now, I would say they either don't value at all or don't have much care for the spiritual and intangible. They're about what is here, what they can create, what they can build. And that's a great thing when it comes to building with you, because they're going to be very open and transparent about those things. It might take time for you guys to open up and get things going, but once they've started, I mean, like, it's really the only thing that could break the two of you would be the choice to do so. There is no outside force that could get in between the two of you. You guys are so solid. And I think that this could be the type of powerful partnership where you guys are a source of support for one another as you deal with storms outside of your relationship and just in life in general. So, and also if both of you have strong personalities and can be controlling, I mean, I know we were just talking about power dynamics. Both of you may need to learn to let go of control or let go of certain fears and let things unfold. And you might find that as you do, it just proves to you that, you know, you can trust one another and that you guys are more reliable to each other than you thought. And I want to, before we get into the tarot, just kind of read what the Swamp Maiden says, because I feel like it just kind of describes the opportunities. Oh shoot, I probably showed boobs. I'll have to fix that, but that's okay. There's just so many opportunities for you guys to become just more self-actualized. We are the daughters of darkness, the brave women who look inward at our shadow self, connect and bring her into the light to find understanding, growth, and true self. I think that is one of the key themes of this new love, is you get to find understanding, growth, and true self for yourselves and each other. You've pulled yourself from the depths of murky emotional waters. You are now ready to embrace and accept the darkness you have felt. No longer will you drown, but breathe through feelings. To be both a creature of land and water, swift and beautiful, whether on foot or fin, you are the Swamp Maiden. So I do feel like this relationship is either going to help you move beyond murky emotional waters, or whatever murky emotional waters you move through are going to prepare you for this type of love and relationship. I think for both of you, this relationship more than anything is a safe container for you guys to be intimate and vulnerable with someone that not only cares about you, but that you can trust, that makes promises that they keep, that is reliable. And that's a very powerful thing. And you will not have to question what the other does, because they say what they mean and mean what they say. And I know I said that a lot, but I really can't stress it enough. Like, they are just someone you can depend on. This is someone who cares about family. They put family first, they put their loved ones first, and they put their goals and practical concerns first. Like, this is not someone who's gonna, you know, spend your life savings on a bunch of lottery tickets. This is someone who would say the lottery is a scam. Like, really, really reliable, practical person. Honestly, I wish they could sprinkle some of their practicality dust on me. I would take that. But while I'm shuffling, if you are interested, there is going to be an extended to this reading, as this is just the first part and it hasn't been long enough. But we're going to be looking at things like how and when you're going to meet this person, and if you already met them, how/when are you going to meet next. We're going to look at how and when will you guys fall in love or start a relationship. We're going to look at things like what they will find unique and refreshing about you. It is spicy, so we're going to look at things like, what about you turns them on? You know, what do they want to do to you or with you? We're going to look at things like what their friends and family's opinions of you will be, and how your life will change in positive ways after they've been in your life. So I've had a good time. If you want to join me, that'll be linked down below. Thank you to everyone who does. If you've never checked one out, it might be a good opportunity. We have lots of fun over there. I am very chaotic and vulgar. But if you're leaving me here while I'm shuffling, if you're just here for that, thanks for leaving a like, letting the ads play, you know. shit like that. Thank you for supporting me and letting me do this. I appreciate you. Okay, so we're gonna start by looking at how will you know it's them? Because let's be real, there's a lot of personality types that could fall into this type of person that are not reliable, that are not dependable, and that are that do quite emotionally harmful things because they don't consider other people's emotions. So how will pile number 2 know that this type of person is the person that they can have this new love with? You're the Magician. So I think that the way that you will know that this person is the right person is, number 1, there will be some sort of aspect of them that you specifically manifested. So for example, maybe there is a specific placement that you manifested. Maybe there is a sign or a number or something significant to you that you say like, okay, universe, if you show me this, then I'll know they're the right person. But I also would say that they have, even though they are predominantly a very logical, rational person, they are not completely oblivious to the great unknown or completely oblivious to their emotions. Like they at least have evolved enough to recognize the value that emotional and or spiritual concepts have, like insights they can bring them. I feel like they'll be a decently well-rounded individual, but also somebody who has a vision and a plan for what they want in the future. I guess one way you can know that this person is the right person is that they'll be looking for a similar type of connection and relationship as you, and they'll be very transparent about this. So for example, you know, if this is the type of person, if you meet a person like this and they're saying like, oh, I just want to have fun, I just want to keep it cool, keep it light, and you want someone who wants to be in a committed partnership, then that would tell you, okay, this is not the person I saw in the reading, because they're not matching the type of relationship that I'm creating, that I want. Because this person is going to want what you want, if it's really them. Because people can fall into this without being that. And I also think that this person's going to have a positive vision for the future. Like, no matter how bleak shit is, they are focused on finding solutions to make the world a better place. And so another way you can tell that it's not them is their goals and visions for the future will be heavily aligned with only their self-interest, their status, their prestige, and they're not going to be thinking about the consequences of what might happen. They'll be very obviously careless or so self-involved that it's clear that they don't really care about the consequences of their actions. You'll know that this is the right person because they do care about that, because they do have a very like they don't use their intelligence in ways that are consciously harmful. You know, they might create harm unintentionally, but if they do and they know, they want to fix it. This is somebody who you will not have to question where they're at with you. They will tell you. So if they're only seeing you as a friend right now, they'll tell you. If they're having feelings for you, that might take them some time, but they're going to tell you eventually. This is somebody who, if you ask them, you will get the answer that is the truth, whether you want that or not. So that green flag is that they're honest, and that they're transparent, and they're straightforward, and their vision for the future is one that aligns with yours. It's one that what they want in love and romance is similar to yours, and they're transparent about what they want. They will also, like I said, have a sense of vision for the future that is inspired by more than just their own self-interest and what they can gain at the expense of others. They don't want that. And I would be willing to bet they work with a lot of people like that, and that's probably partially why they don't want to be that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and see now what makes this love so new, and how is it different from past loves you've experienced. That makes sense. It doesn't end. And this is what I mean by that. You know, you might be manifesting a together forever type scenario. And this scenario could very well be that. But let's just say on the off chance, for whatever reason, you two decide to part ways. This person is always going to be the same person that they were when they were in the relationship with you. You know how some people switch up after you've had a relationship with them and they betray you, or they say things about you that aren't true, or talk badly about you? This person would never do that. They will always be a person of integrity with you. And with this Ten of Swords being here, neither one of you is interested in betraying the other. Neither one of you is interested in hurting the other in favor of self-interest. I think one big difference is that both, like the way that this love is new, it makes me sad that this is new for you, and this person, is the fact that both of you are committed to the integrity of the relationship over your own personal interests. And so, for example, you know, if you had, like, let's say you or this person, or maybe both of you, had people in your past that, you know, would say that they care about the relationship, and then you would find them being dishonest, or on dating apps, or talking to other people, or things like that, you know, just are switching up out of nowhere and abandoning you. That's not going to happen. If something is not working, if you would be at risk of breaking up or ending things, there would be a lot of effort put in before that happened. Like, there would be counseling, there would be, like, every measure would be taken to ensure the healthiness and well-being of the relationship over just walking away and giving up. The strength of the type of relationship that you have will be one where you're not constantly on edge and worried about the other person because you're afraid they're going to abandon you or betray you. And if your experience of relationships is one where you constantly have that lingering anxiety and that lingering fear, only for it to be real and true, it's understandable how stressful it might be to enter into a new relationship. And I think that's why this type of dynamic will be so powerful for you, because those fears and anxieties will be unfounded, and they will be something where you realize, like, oh, those deceptive people, like, I wasn't the problem there. And I think one thing both of you are going to realize is that there's definitely some self-loathing tendencies you both have, where you place a lot of blame on yourselves for things that were never your fault in the first place. Like, it is not your fault someone else cheated on you. Like, it's not your fault that someone else, you know, betrayed you behind your back. It's their fault. They should have had the balls to either break up with you or work on the commitments they already made. You know what I mean? Like, this, both of you, one difference I think is both of you actually understand the value of the agreements you make. Both of you have commitment to it. And I'm gonna throw some shade here, but both of you are actually smart enough to understand the consequences of impulsive actions, especially when it comes to how those actions might impact the people you love and care about. I do think that one or both of you have people in your past that have betrayed you from an impulsive place, that did love and care about you, but were just not even thinking, and they messed up, and they have to live with that regret for the rest of their lives. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and see if there's anything you need to do or release to bring this in. If you're already doing this, then there's nothing to worry about. If what is suggested is something that you are incapable of doing, or like you don't feel you need to do, then just trust it's headed to you. So is there anything pile number 2 needs to release or do to bring this person in? Hold steady to what you've already been creating with the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, just hold on to what you know to be true and what you want. But if there is anything to release, I would say, if you have this belief that you have to settle, or that that you have to, like, don't settle. That's why I release the idea that you have to settle. Also release the idea that you're not worthy of all that you want. I think those are two big, powerful things that you could address. But also just hold steady to what you've been creating and don't compromise what you truly want for affection and companionship. Because the right person, the type of person that you're going to have this love with, is going to want that same thing. So there is no compromising or settling. And if you find someone that fits this description, but they don't want that, then it's not them. Because the type of love that you're able to have, you know, love is not the same thing as lust. Like is not the same thing as love. And when it comes to you and this person, you guys are building a romantic love connection where it is based on both of your values. And I think like one really powerful thing is you guys are going to experience how love operates in terms of like commitments and agreements and loyalty. Like there's a lot of loyalty here, and I think the best way you can start to bring this in is be loyal to the vision that you have for the type of romantic relationship you want, the type of dynamic that you want, and the future that you're building towards. Anyone or anything, like anyone that makes you feel insecure when you're in their presence is not the right person. Anyone who makes you feel like you should lower your standards or lower what you want, that is something that should be ignored. Hold true to what you want and what you value, and don't settle for anything less, because that's going to bring this person in and keep you from entering into a situation where you convince yourself that someone else is this person when they're deceptive or inconsistent or unreliable or unwilling to be honest. You know, that's just going to lead to more pain and make you feel like you can't trust your own judgment. You can trust your judgment. You just have to be brave enough to ask those questions that you're afraid to hear the answer to. Those are going to be the questions that matter. And I think it's also just important to pay attention to, do their actions match up with that? I feel like it doesn't even matter like what questions I ask. Whatever needs to come through is coming through. Okay, so now I want to see a misconception about yourself, about love, or relationships that Spirit wants to clear up. So Spirit, is there a misconception that Pile 2 has about love, relationships, things like that you want to clear up? The Six of Cups. You clarify that. I feel like you have, okay, the back of the deck's making this more interesting. I feel like you have this misconception that relationships have to operate a certain way, or that if I described a person to you and they sound like someone from your past, you might have this idea that because the past is there, it can't work out. Or you might have this misconception without even consciously realizing it. If your parents or guardian figures had a really dysfunctional dynamic in a certain way, you might have this misconception that you have to be like a certain, that every relationship is going to turn out that way, or that every relationship is going to be like one from your past. I feel like one misconception that Spirit wants to clear up is the fact that you can create new relationships differently. Also, people can change and can grow, but you know, of course, talk is cheap and they have to show and prove it. But I also think that maybe you have this belief deep down that you have to be better or more than you are to bring this person in, and that's just not true. You already are enough. And I feel like that, like, this person coming in, you may not know it immediately, but once you do start to establish an emotional connection with them, you'll realize like how silly it was of you to think in the first place that you had to have certain things figured out, like, oh, I need to look this way, or I need to reach this goal or this milestone. You'll realize that was silly and that this was a matter of the heart. But I also think that you might have this idea that there's like a predestined person out there for you, or that like maybe for some of you, you believe that every person, like anyone that's meant to be yours, like has to be a soulmate, and it has to be a pre-existing one. And it's possible maybe you create that soulmate in this lifetime. You know, I think soulmates are created, right? But there is a lot of soulmate energy here. And so you might have this idea that, you know, like if this person sounds like your soulmate, you know, which is funny because we're talking so much about earthly things, but I think that makes sense. Like, just like soulmates don't have to be, you don't have to be conscious of that fact, right? You might have this idea that you just have to be a more mature, evolved version of yourself in order to meet your soulmate, or that you have to like earn your soulmate or make that happen. And I think Spirit is saying, no, you don't. But also, like, if you are waiting for someone to just get you and understand you and if you're just waiting for that like love at first sight thing, I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but what I am saying is Spirit might be telling you that you might be missing out on connection because you might have an expectation of how you think it's going to feel and how it's going to show up completely, and then that makes you completely oblivious to who you could actually have that deep emotional connection with. It's just that maybe you're afraid to let it flow or let it build because of the vulnerability or uncertainty, or maybe you're just struggling to feel like you can have love like this, that you can have a love where you feel cherished and where you feel good. And you are deserving of that. Another thing that I'm hearing, which literally makes me so sad, is the idea that if you have children already, you might believe that you are used goods, or that, you know, nobody wants to be with a single parent. And that makes me so sick and sad, not at you, but at those who made you believe that. You might have this idea that that you have to settle for less because you already have children, or that you have a past, and that is ridiculous. Definitely, if part of your self-worth is tied, if you have a belief that, you know, the type of love that you were looking for is gone because of your previous life choices and what you've been through, that is something that you need to let go of, because love does not skip people who make mistakes. If that were the case, all of us would be unloved and we'd be on our own. It's quite the opposite. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions that Spirit has for you is the fact that things can change and be different, and also you can have a love that honors you, that honors who you're becoming, and that makes you feel accepted for who you truly are. I think one of the hard things about that, though, is sometimes that type of love maybe doesn't show up on our timetable. It shows up on a different one. And so you might need to remind yourself that just because it's not showing up right now doesn't mean it's not going to show up at all. But that yearning, of course, is there, and that's okay. And it's okay to yearn and desire for love and connection. I think you just may have this idea, though, that you're not ready for it yet, or you haven't earned it yet. And I mean, you know, if you're under the age of 18, like, that might be true. And if so, you shouldn't be watching this reading. You should be doing something that's not watching tarot readings. Come back when you're older, please. I'm not hating on you because of your age. I just want you to live life first. Like, it's not good for you. I care about your well-being. Come back when you're older. But for the rest of you, I do think that there is this kind of idea that, like, maybe you can't have what you want, or maybe you just have to be better or more of yourself, or change or grow in a certain way, or maybe you had a certain belief instilled, like, oh, you can't have this body type and have a relationship. You can't be this type of person and have a relationship. And Spirit's just saying that's not true, because it's who you truly are that this person's going to fall in love with, period. And also, you have to truly believe that you can create this, that you can have this type of love, because if you don't believe it exists, it is not going to show up for you. Because you could literally be here in this relationship with this person and still be oblivious to the fact that it's here, because part of you doesn't believe in it and thinks that eventually it will fail and this person will run. And that would suck, because then you would just be missing out on more security and support that is literally available to you that you would be unaware of. I'm trying to think of anything else. Like, these are kind of hard cards to interpret. Like, I'm getting so many different interpretations, and I don't know what's relevant for whom. So hopefully that makes sense. If you got an interpretation that I didn't say that resonates for you or that you were thinking of, please feel free to share them in the comments. Someone else may need to see them. I do feel like there are interpretations I'm not getting right now off the top of my head that could be beneficial to others. So thank you to anyone who wants to pipe in and share their interpretations. Those are valid and welcome here. We're going to go ahead and finish this reading off by looking at some charms and letters that could just be extra messages or signs related to this person, related to this relationship. You might see these things before you meet this person or before you come together. You might need these things for confirmation, whatever it may be. Okay. I just want to start with the Two of Cups coming out. Like, this is a real meeting of the hearts. And I think that the way the both of you process, express, and share love is different. And I think that this relationship is going to be a beautiful opportunity for you both to understand the many ways in which love is expressed and how they may be different, but they're still valid. That it may awaken the both of you to ways in which love is expressed that neither of you were aware before. But also I think that there's a meeting halfway for the two of you where I think one of the strongest aspects of this relationship is the mutual desire to want to work together and understand one another and become closer. And it just makes you such great partners because once you learn those things, it's so much easier. Like, you guys are intelligent people. You will be able to understand one another and read one another eventually because you will have had such a solid basis of understanding and connection to begin with. You will feel like you are with an equal. Well, both of you might put one another on pedestals, but like I said, there are some power dynamic-y things here, but like ultimately, like and I don't know what those are, those might need to be shifted, but ultimately there's a mutual love and respect for one another. But we also have strength. So definitely some ego that you might have to contend with. You know, like your ego might want to stop you from sharing things emotionally. My hair is in here. In any hairy situations, you might have to temper yourselves and take action in a more gentle way than maybe you would. You might be feeling really intensely and might have to hold yourself back and then be so glad you did because you realized you were worked up over a misunderstanding or something like that. The fact that we have kindness changes everything. I think both of you are going to find that you're gentle with each other and become more gentle with yourselves and gentle with your own intense emotions because you realize that neither of you are at odds or at war with one another. You guys are working together. I definitely think, though, this relationship will require patience and it will require understanding and it will require surrender to certain things you may not understand or certain aspects of each other you may never understand, where you just have to learn to accept, like, okay, this is a part of them. Okay, like this is just an aspect of them. And obviously I'm not talking about things like them being a shitty partner or things like that. Like, those are things they can change. But, you know, if they're the type of person who I don't know. Yeah, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm like, I can see the sun going down, and on a universal level, they are like, girly pop, you've been talking for a while and you still got an extended. I don't want to wear you guys out. Okay, let's do letters and numbers really quickly. So we have a Q, we have an S, we have an A, we have another A, we have a W, but you can call it an M if you want. We have a T, we have an I, we have a 5, we have a 0, we have a 2. And I think that is it. Ooh, so I am seeing the word wait. So this might be a type of person that's worth the wait. Like, I also just, I laughed because I thought of Saw, like the Saw movies. But what I was thinking specifically is like that Rick and Morty episode where he's like, I'm not doing a Saw thing, I'm not a hack. And then he does the Saw thing. That's why I was laughing. But anyway, yeah, those could be significant to you in any way. We have this relaxing monkey, which always to me is a sign of learning to let go of monkey mind and the internal chaos that our monkey minds can create, you know, bouncing from one thing to another, ruminating, being overwhelmed. I definitely think that there is a sense of peace that you guys will give one another in terms of just backing up your promises and being consistent and reliable with each other. That will help both of you release a lot of fears, because when you're with someone who's reliable and trustworthy, those same fears can't have a hold over you. Like, those fears are valid when you're with someone who isn't trustworthy or who isn't reliable, but you guys are going to be a presence that shows one another like, oh, I don't have to deal with this as much when I'm not consistently overwhelmed and not with a partner who is unreliable or doesn't show up in the same ways as I do. We also have this dinosaur here. So yeah, one or both of you. So one of you could definitely be older than the other. That could be an aspect here. Dinosaurs could be a passion. I'm thinking of The Land Before Time, like the movies. There could be something there. Maybe this person has a favorite dinosaur. I always like to ask people, like, and I'll ask you now, if you were a dinosaur, what kind of dinosaur would you be? I would be a brontosaurus. And I found that a lot of people, when they talk about what kind of dinosaur they would be, they tend to resemble that dinosaur in some way. And I will say, dinosaur me would for sure just be chill and eating leaves with my long ass neck. Okay, we also have this crab. So the beach could be significant. Cancer energy could be significant. This person could have Cancer placements. Maybe you'll see a crab when you meet this person or something like that. Maybe you'll be eating crab or something like that. But I also see this as one thing that this relationship is going to require is time for the both of you to feel safe enough to start opening up emotionally. A lot of the most powerful connection that you guys will have will be when you choose to open up to one another in that way. When you choose to share your feelings and have heart-to-hearts, that's when this relationship will be transformed into iron. Because so much wisdom will come from it, so much acceptance and understanding will come from it, and you guys will realize that you have the same goals, even if you're trying to go about them in different ways, and learn how to work together and be on the same page more easily. Let's see. We also have love. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like your heart is going to erase around this person. Like I said, you guys are really going to share your hearts with one another and really, really value the lessons that love teaches you through each other. You guys are going to be really grateful for that. And I also just feel like this person is going to be someone who they don't say love very often, because when they do say it, it's very meaningful. So this person saying I love you could be quite powerful. But we also have the rainbow here. So, you know, this could be queer relationship, or like one or both of you could be part of the LGBTQ community. That could just be like both of you could be allies, and that's a very important cause to the both of you. Maybe you have family members that are, so that could be an important aspect here. We also have O for fox's sake. So I do think that one of the most challenging stressors that you guys will experience is stuff outside of your relationship, like things that are not between the two of you, but, you know, annoying things that you guys will have to be each other's support system for. But also foxes could be significant. I do think that foxes as well, like, I feel like both of you are going to feel like really sexy around each other. Like, you're going to feel really good about yourselves and really hype one another up. But there's also a silliness. Maybe you guys will enjoy puns. You're in good company if you enjoy puns. And I also just think that a lot of unseen aspects of yourselves will be brought to the light with each other. And there will just be more understanding and acceptance and like freedom in that, where you just understand how you work a bit better and understand if like, and just have a better understanding of, is this something I want to change? Is this a way I want to grow? But yeah, sometimes y'all will be annoyed at like the ways of the world outside of you is just challenging you. But I think one of the beautiful things is that you guys can have those challenges and those stressors and know that like if you have periods of disconnection or periods of not being able to be as close, the agreements you have and the bond that you hold is solid, and you will get back to that deeper level of connection as soon as you both can. We also have road trippers. So road trips could be a big part of your life together, or just traveling could be really important to the both of you. Maybe you can meet them on a road trip, or maybe one or both of you will live in a van or like be van lifers, or like one or both of you could just really like driving. Maybe this person is really into cars, or maybe you'll meet them when they're on a road trip to your place, or vice versa. Take that one as it resonates. But finally, we have, no one grows old by living, only by losing interest in living. So maybe you guys could renew one another's interest in living, or keep each other young and fun, or yeah, whatever. I know this for real. I think we all do. So I think that you guys you'll know this person is the right person because they make you feel young no matter how old you are, and they renew your sense of passion for life and possibilities. And some numbers we have are 10, 47, 51, 44, 16, and 38. But pile 2, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. I'm going to head over to the extended now. Thank you to everyone who checks that out. But if you're leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. So thank you to everyone who does that. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, my social media. You can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ACE10 for 10% off. You can check out my other videos, especially ones with extended, or just check out the extended, because honestly that's the best way to support me, and it makes my hard work the most worth it, because yeah, I don't know, I've been talking for so long. So that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this resonated and brought you clarity and comfort. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the 3rd card, this is going to be a reading on the new love entering your life. I highly recommend you check out the breakdown in the intro if you have questions, but just as a little reminder, if you do not like what is being described, if you do not feel it is for you, please just pick a different group. You are not going to be forced to have a new love with someone that you're not interested in, or a relationship that you don't want. You do have free will. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the reading now. So we're gonna start by looking at who this type of person is that you can have new love with, and what that type of relationship dynamic will be. And I want to start with the card that you chose, because it is an unnamed card. It's kind of an extra card, and all it says in the guidebook is sweet companionship, which, like, I'm grinning from ear to ear right now. Like, oh, this is so cute. And I, like, who wouldn't love that? And I definitely think this type of new love that you're already creating, because if you were drawn to this reading, it's here for a reason, and it's important you believe in whatever comes through, especially if you, well, not if you don't like it, then you'd be like, no, I believe I'm getting something else. But if you do like it, you'd be like, yes, I believe that this is real and true, because this is, I feel like this is the type of love, like this sweet companionship that that your heart has really wanted, and that's available to you and coming to you. So let's go ahead and see who you can have sweet companionship with. And I'm also just hearing now too, if the type of person you don't like described, if you like the type of relationship and don't like the type of person, maybe go back and you could do like a little thing, like look for a different type of person in the other readings and then apply it to this. I haven't heard that for any of the other groups, but for you guys, maybe that's a specific thing. I don't know. But anyway, the type of person coming through, we have the Kiss, we have the Seeker. The light attribute is thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. Shadow attribute is inability to commit to a path once found. And we have Sun in Aries with assertion. So I do also want to mention, when it comes to placements, do not make those more important than energies. If this resonates and that this person ends up not having any placements in Aries, that's totally fine. It's about the energy. Use it as extra confirmation, not as something that means it's not for you. Okay, As for the type of relationship you guys can have together, we have summer. We have love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. And we have soulmate. Aww. Corporate wants you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Okay, this is so sweet. I love this. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me make sure everything's in the frame though so that you can see it. And it's like not super chaotic. Even though this person is a little bit, not a ton entirely, but this is so sweet. This type of person, this is going to be somebody that you're very attracted to. The fact that we have the kiss here, physical intimacy is going to be a big part of your relationship. You're going to want to be close to each other. You're going to want to do things like cuddle and hold hands and like, this is a very physically intimate connection, which makes me really excited for the extended. So, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. This is somebody who is fiery. I mean, we have Aries energy and Leo energy with the sun. They don't have to have those placements, but this is someone who has a need to prove themselves. Especially with the seeker here, this is someone who's always curious and always exploring new things. They're very curious and they're also very courageous. I feel like they have a bit, well, I heard it as main character syndrome, not main character energy, but it's like, I'm sorry, but every Aries sun I know, they kind of are a main character. And this person doesn't have to be an Aries sun, but I definitely think that this person, especially when they're younger, may have a tendency to be very self-focused. And I do think as well, they definitely doubt themselves. They are somebody who has a need to prove themselves and a need to do things bigger than just what's acceptable. And I also think that they are always looking for more, like not necessarily more, because we'll talk about this here, like more in terms of, like, this is the type of person, if they get interested in a topic, they are going to absolutely exhaust it and go and look up every single thing about it. And I can kind of relate to this, like getting frustrated because there's less information or you're finding a bunch of different sources that say the same thing. Like, this is someone who wants to know everything. They want to understand everything. And they also are allergic to bullshitters. They cannot stand people that do not say what they mean and mean what they say. They are somebody who is pretty straightforward, and so they don't understand people that like obfuscate like what their actual intentions are or what they really think or feel. This is someone who is confident enough in themselves to go after what they want, and even if they're not able to take action towards that immediately, like, it stays in the back of their mind until they are. I do think it is hard for them sometimes to settle into one thing and to do one thing. Like, I feel like this person would prefer to be a jack of all trades, master of none. But at the same time, I do think that there are things that this person is naturally good at, that they do lean towards, that they doubt themselves in. And I definitely think too, they are somebody who is very protective over the people that they love, and they love to explore, they love to travel, and they love to learn, and they'll love to learn about you. Like, they will definitely love getting to know like the little things about you, the things that other people don't know. And this is definitely someone who, like, they love physical affection. Like, physical touch is definitely one of their love languages, and it's very important to them. Like, they need hugs and you know, like, they like to put their arm around you, or vice versa. Like, they like being in close physical proximity. That's going to be something that's very big. So like, if you're hearing about this person and they're like, yeah, like I need my space, I don't like to be touched, that doesn't really sound like this person. But like I said, there was a lot of there was that message earlier that, you know, if you like the relationship and not the person, it's possible that you could have this with a different person. Maybe if it sounds more aligned with you and like the type of person that you're looking for. But as an Aries sun, I'm sorry that you don't see quality in other Aries suns. I mean, they're number one for a reason, you know. Anyway, I definitely think that there's someone who fights for what they love and works hard to prove themselves. I do think they're a hard worker where it counts. I think that you can't force this person to care about things that they don't really care about. They're probably going to do the bare minimum there. But I do think they love to learn and explore. They probably love documentaries. They're probably good at trivia. They probably love random facts. And I definitely think that when they love with their whole heart. Like they are either a free agent or they are committed to someone, and it's because they want to be. They're definitely not someone who settles down easily or flippantly. Like, they have to be really sure, because this person is content on their own. I think that's a big thing. This person doesn't need someone else to complete them. They don't need someone to make their life whole. I mean, they might like it. They might want that. They might want someone. I mean, they do want someone in their life. Like, I mean, we have this soulmate card here and all this stuff, but they don't need it to be happy, and they're unwilling to settle for anything less than the type of companionship they truly desire. And the kind of companionship they desire is the one that they're going to have with you. So let's talk about that. You guys are going to have such a light and loving relationship. You guys are going to love being around one another. You guys are going to have so much fun together. There's a lot of warmth between the two of you, and the warmth and love that is shared between the two of you shows the both of you where love was all around always that maybe you never saw. I feel like there's going to be so much love between the two of you. You're also just going to be attracting a lot of loving experiences, and you're going to find that, like, you're more connected to the divine through this person, because you guys just create a frequency together. Like, you guys create these vibes together that are like really hot. Like, you guys have high vibes together, and so you attract high vibe experiences. Like, I can't say that stuff, like, take myself seriously. Like, that terminology makes me cringe inside, but like, it's true. It's the truth. Like, it's true. It's just, I wish there was better wording. But it's fun to talk like this and be like a surfer dude. So, you know, at least there's a bright side. And I think that you guys are going to have that type of goofy, silly relationship where you're going to have, like, where you can make silly voices and do fun things. Like, come on, these two guys, like, they're goofballs. They have a great time together, and you could tell. Like, same with these guys. Like, you guys are going to have wonderful times together. And I love that there's so many cards where, like, you guys are touching each other. Ow, fuck. I hit my... I just touched the table a little bit harder than I wanted to. That hurt. That's gonna leave a bruise. Anyway. You guys are just going to have so much closeness. And like I said, physical intimacy is definitely going to be something that you guys enjoy and have a lot of... gas in the tank for. I don't know. That's definitely gonna be something for you guys where, like, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to be a home run, like second base even then. Like, that's, you guys are just gonna be very touchy-feely and love being close to each other, and I think that's a really beautiful thing. I also just think, like, with the summer, you know, when you think about the qualities of summer, like, it's fun, it's warm, you know, you don't have a whole lot of layers on. So, like, I think that it's going to be easy and natural to be really vulnerable with each other. I think it's going to be a time of exploration and adventure and fun. And, you know, obviously seasons change, but I think the fact that summer is here when it comes to your relationship and whatever duration it has, whether it's a lifetime or a period of time, the predominant experience in your relationship with this person is going to be a summery one. It's going to be full of fun and adventures and passion and sensuality and positive experiences that warm your heart when you think back on them, positive experiences that feel great when you're in them. Like, this relationship is going to feel like a warm summer night when you're sitting by a campfire around people that you love, and just sharing in that connection. Maybe there's a s'more there, maybe you're roasting a weenie. I'm really revealing my Midwesternness. Nah, sitting around a campfire is a universal human experience. I can't attribute that to the Midwest, or act like that's revealing me in any way. I revealed myself there. Anyway, I definitely think that you guys will inspire the other to look at life in a lighter way. And I think that challenges and frustrations that just happen in everyday life that would have once really annoyed you. I think that like the love that you'll share with this person in this relationship, like things won't bother you as much, and you'll be a lot more focused on the light, on the love. And I also think that one cool thing about you and this person is I think you guys have really rich inner worlds, and you guys have very broad interests. And I think one of the things you guys will love is exploring and learning about things together, and learning each other. And I think that you guys are always going to keep things interesting. Like you guys are going to be interesting to each other, and the ways that you involve and grow are also going to be really interesting as well. So overall, like a very sweet, lighthearted relationship where it seems like a lot of heaviness and density that, you know, maybe you might have really experienced in other relationships. Like, I think you've moved through a lot of that. I think you've worked through a lot of that. And I think both of you just want to experience the lighter side of life and love. And you want to do that with each other. I feel like for your person, this person that's coming in a lot of ways, they make their life harder than it needs to be. I feel like sometimes this person works harder rather than smarter, almost maybe because they want to prove to themselves that they can, or they just have like, they're just very determined. And I feel like your presence is really going to remind them of the fact that they don't have to punish themselves. Like they can just be lighter. I feel like this person doesn't really give themselves a break, and maybe that's something that you do as well. And so I think that maybe this relationship will be a way to remind yourselves, like you guys will serve as mirrors to show one another that you don't need to be so hard on yourselves, and that you can just enjoy closeness and intimacy and life, and you don't have to feel guilty about it or analyze it or try to figure out why it's happening or be worried about losing it. You're just in it and living it and enjoying how good that feels, and recognizing that like that experience can be translated to other areas of your life, and you realize like all of life can be lighter and easier than maybe I've been making it. And maybe that just starts with seeing where I've been making things harder than necessary, or where I've been harder on myself than it has been necessary. And I think one beautiful thing too is that you just are gonna feel truly seen by one another, and you guys are gonna really love each other's hearts and spirits and physicalities and minds. So there's a really beautiful and strong level of compatibility here between the two of you, where I would not be shocked if you like looked at your synastry charts, that if there were a lot of trines or just harmonious aspects between the two of you, because there's a lot of harmony between the two of you in general. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tarot right now. Your charms are going everywhere. And while I'm shuffling, I will say there will be an extended for this reading, and they've been very juicy so far and very fun. Thank you to everyone who hypes them up, because they are just really fun to do and I enjoy making them. We're going to be looking at some 18 plus things, like what about you turns them on and what they want to do to you or with you. But we're also going to look at things like how you guys will meet, how you guys will fall in love or start a relationship, whichever one comes first. We're going to look also at things like what their friends and family will think of you, and how your life will change in powerful ways as a result of you coming in it. We're also going to look at things like what they find refreshing about you. So yeah, if you're interested in that, that'll be linked down below. But if you're just here for this reading, happy to have you here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And if you do want to support me in any ways that are free, you know, just liking the vid, commenting down below, just saying that you believe in that you're worthy of this love, or believe that this love is coming to you. You know that this love is coming to you. I think all that could be great. Leaving a like, I think I already said that. A subscribe, letting the ads play, all that's super helpful. So thank you to everyone who does that. Okay, so we're gonna start by looking at how you will know that this person is this person. So Spirit, how will pile 3 know that this person is the person that they have been looking for, please? You're the 5 of Swords. And can you clarify the 5 of Swords, please? One more. Interesting. Okay. So, how you will know this person is this person is they will not be avoidant of what they want. Number one, you will feel a sense of emotional fulfillment when you're with them. And it will be obvious to you that they are as invested in working on this relationship as you are. And with the Five of Swords here, for some of you, I wonder if you already know who this person is. You guys have just been taking time to grow and change and come together as healthier people. So you'll know it's them if they come back into your life or enter your life and they're a different person. They're more sensitive, they're more self-aware, they're also open. You'll know this person is the person because they're open. You know, with this Five of Swords being here, I feel like you'll know it's not them if they are just focused on getting what they want, if they act very selfish, if they're not very conscientious of you or thinking of what you want, if they don't seem to be collaborative with you or don't seem to be giving you clarity on like how they see their future or what they want, if they have ideas in general about humanity and about, it's definitely not this person if they have some sort of victim mentality, if they believe that the world is out to get them, if they believe that they can't trust people, if they have in general negative beliefs about people, like, and not just the regular ones where it's just a human day and you're like, oh, like people are so annoying, I hate people, you know, like that's normal, that's just, we're people, we're just you know, talking about life. But if it's like I believe that people are bad, you know, I'm here to get mine, I don't care about other people's feelings, I don't care about other people's emotions, I don't care about how my actions affect them, this is not this person. This is somebody who you'll know it's them because they will be family oriented, and also someone who works hard and puts effort into what they want, and they'll put effort into you, and they will also, as you guys get comfortable with one another, they will start talking about the future. And it won't be some sort of future faking thing. They'll be like, you know, this is what I want for my future and I wonder if you're a part of it. I also think that you'll know it's them if they open up about their flaws and their shortcomings. And like, for example, you know, kind of the shortcomings that I was talking about, like they might say, in the past I had a really negative view of humanity, or in the past I thought that like I only had like, in the past I had a mentality of fuck you, I've got mine, like I don't care about anyone else, and I've just realized how wrong that is. Like, if any of the qualities that I described are present that are maybe like self-sabotaging or selfish, those are things that they'll be open and honest about, like the fact that they've been healing or working on, and qualities that they don't want you to be affected by. They will be brutally honest about themselves in ways that are beneficial, but you both will have a mutual vision of sweet companionship. Like I feel like they are going to treat you sweetly. Like they will not, like I can't see this person saying something, like it's not them if they are rude to you, mean to you, or don't consider your feelings. Like they're going to communicate in ways that are especially as they get to know you more and more, very emotionally available and like conscientious of you. And I also think if they act in ways that are that way and they know about it, they're never going to do it again. Like they're definitely someone who, but I will say, like, they will be someone who will admit they're a work in progress, but they will be so honest about their flaws and honest about their shortcomings and mistakes, but also be honest about what they want and what they're working towards and why it's important to them that they grow beyond that. But also, I think this goes back into how hard they are on themselves. So if you're interacting with a person and they don't see their flaws, or like act like they don't have them, or are quite arrogant, or, you know, think that their shit don't stink, this person, like, they'll be like, oh no, I take stinky shits, like my shit stinks, like I'm a person. But you know, so somebody who's not self-aware about their own shortcomings and does not feel like they are the problem, but has no problem playing the victim card and acting like the victim, you'll know it's not them. This is someone who is collaborative and not only in it for themselves. So let's go ahead now and look at how this love is different and what makes this love new. Guess I need to do another shuffle for some reason, but Spirit, how is this love different? What makes this love new? To pile 3, please. We have a Page of Cups. It's playful. It's fun. Like, I feel like not only do you get a connection to your inner child, but I feel like you and this person will have this dynamic where you don't have to take yourself seriously around one another, and that's seriously such a relief. This love is new because there's a purity to it where you guys are allowed to be yourselves. I hope that you haven't been in this situation, and if you have, it makes me really sad. But the types of relationships where someone is goofy and silly and the other partner doesn't like that, gets embarrassed by them, or, you know, wants them to act a different way. If you ever had a partner that just doesn't get your vibe, and like, the best way I can describe it is I really like to ask people, and so I'll ask you now, if you were a dinosaur, what kind of dinosaur would you be? I personally would be a brontosaurus. There's no question about it. I would spend my time as a dinosaur chilling and eating leaves. It would be great. And I've asked the cool people in my life this question, and they all give me quality answers. But every now and then, you ask someone, you know, if you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be? And it's like, what? Why are you asking me this? What's the point of this question? Like they're giving me a fucking inquisition about this and like acting suspicious, where I'm just like, dude, stop being fucking lame. Like, I just want to know what kind of dinosaur you think you'd be. Like, I want to know more about you. How do you see your, like, what, like, why are you overthinking this? Like, can you just be cool? Can you just like go onto Google and like it's fine if you don't know any, you have a goddamn computer in your pocket that will give you that has infinite amounts of information on it. Like, you could go and like, this doesn't need to be a painful process. Like, you're ruining the fucking vibe. You know what? Now I don't even want to know what kind of dinosaur. Like, you wouldn't be. You're the meteor, I guess, ruining all the fun and ending the Paleolithic era. I don't know, whenever it was. I don't know. Those types of people, if you were in a relationship with someone like that, you know, their place in the world is valid. But like, if you've been in relationships where someone just doesn't get your vibe and just doesn't play along and is just like, acts like you're weird for just bringing in a question or something like that, or just being goofy or silly or different than what they're used to, this type of love, you can be yourself. Like, if you ask your person what kind of dinosaur they're either gonna have an answer for you right away, or they're gonna be undecided because they already know a couple of different dinosaurs and they can kind of see them fitting a few of them. Or they're gonna be like, I don't know, I should look that up. That's a good question. Like, they're gonna be the type of person that plays along with you, that doesn't make you feel weird for being yourself and just fun. You guys are gonna have a very creative relationship as well. I think you guys are going to be like creative muses of sorts for each other. And I think your love itself is gonna be a source of creativity as well. I also think it's just gonna make you feel more connected to your childlike self, to your playful fun self. And I can't help but notice the Page of Cups is in both of these cards. And I really feel like both of you are going to feel okay to be yourselves, and you guys are gonna communicate in a very loving way. So like, if you had a partner in the past that was not very like emotionally expressive, or shared how they felt, or just shared their emotions in general, you guys are gonna do that with each other. And also, you guys are gonna make space for each other's emotional immaturity in ways where, like, it's not like either of you is calling it out, but just holding space for emotional experiences we may not allow ourselves to have in other circumstances because we know it's immature, we know we shouldn't, but just in ways where like your partner can hold space for that and it just feels good and you can just let it go and be in a state that maybe you would consider regression. Like, that's going to be something that you experience where it's like, it's just safe to do that. and not have to hold yourself to such a high, pristine standard all the time. It's gonna be fun. Like, this is gonna be if you think relationships are work, you're gonna learn from this relationship that they can actually just be fun and easy. My mom always says about her marriage with my dad, she says it's easy. Like, I know some people say marriage is hard, and maybe it is for them, but in my experience with your dad, like, it's just always been easy. And I kind of feel like that with you guys, like, there will be an ease to this. That would be really nice. And I do feel like this relationship will make your guys' lives easier. Like, you know. Anyway. Okay. Now I want to see if there's anything you need to release or do to bring this in that you're not doing already. So Spirit, is there anything pile number 3 needs to do or release to bring this love in, please? Be confident in yourself. Recognize you're already attracting it. I knew I said this for a reason. You just need to shine your light more and recognize that you are worthy of showing up and being seen. You need to you're already attracting this. The fact that you're here and you've come this far and you've listened to this and you've been like, yes, this is what I want. Yes, this is exactly what I need. To bring this in, you just need to trust that you are, and continue to be confident in yourself and continue to believe in your worthiness of having a love like this. You know, be funny. You are connected to the divine. Like, look at life from a lighter perspective, you know. Don't let yourself feel disempowered or feel stuck. Know your worth and let yourself shine. Don't dim your light. This is definitely not the time for you to hide. This is the time for you to stand out and be seen, and dress yourself in ways that make you feel confident. Share yourself in ways that make you feel good. Share your authentic personality. Like, just be yourself in the most authentic ways possible, and in ways that maybe you wouldn't if you were afraid of what other people thought. Because one thing about this person is that they don't care about what other people think more than they care about being themselves and doing what they want. Like, other people, like, they might care. I think it's human in general to care about what other people think of you, unless you're like you've got some sort of antisocial personality disorder going on. Well, even within that, there's maybe just a couple of them that would apply. But anyway, some of them, they really care. This person, they don't let the opinions and perceptions of others stop them from doing what they want. Like, they are not going to value that over their mission, what they feel their purpose is, like what they feel is important to them, what they feel they need to do. And I think that you need to do that too. I feel like there's a part of you that sees this type of relationship, knows it's real, knows it exists, knows that people are worthy of it, but then you just forget to include yourself. But it can't happen for me. Okay, delusional. Like, denial is a river in Egypt. Like, you need to recognize that is a delusional perspective to have, and you are out of alignment with this type of relationship so long as you believe you can't have it, or that it's out there but for everyone but you. You know that's a fucking lie. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. Like, look, just be honest with yourself. Like, you truly desire this type of love, and it's not bad or wrong to desire it. It's not silly. It's not stupid. This type of love could make your life even better than it already is. Could greatly improve your life. And I'm not saying that you can't improve your life on your own. I think you already have a life that you're either content with or happy in the direction it's headed. But like, relationships are a big part of life, and they can improve our life. And that's why you've desired this type of relationship so deeply. It's because it is a wonderful thing worthy of celebration, and the type of love that people deserve to experience, including you. So stop being delusional and genuinely believe that it is delusional to believe that this can't happen for you, or that this is just a pipe dream. Like, that is fear talking. That is your wounding talking. Like, that is your subconscious saying, hey, we need to believe a little bit more deeply and do whatever it takes to believe on a cellular level that we are love, and that we are lovable, and that we deserve to have this kind of love. Okay, the Queen of Wands is not sitting there going, oh, but like, what if they don't like me? Or like, but what if I don't find it? The Queen of Wands is like, I don't care if I have to go to Timbuktu and back. I will find my love, or they will find me, and it will happen. It's gonna happen. I don't even need to think about it. I just need to trust in my connection to the divine and trust magic to make it happen. And I think also another thing that you need to do is fiercely protect your vision for what this type of relationship should be. You know, if you like what I've described and you have even more ideas than that, hold on to those too. I think also that you guys, like, I think this suggestion came to you guys specifically about, like, you know, if the type of person doesn't sound like what you want, try a different group for the type of person. That, like, it's because you have enough internal discernment to know if, like, another type of person could be this way for you. Or maybe this sounds like you and maybe the other person is in a different group. I don't know. But you're smart enough and you're capable enough and you know energy well enough to know if it's meant for you or not, and if you need to shift things to make them apply to you. And if you really need some reinforcement, just write down how you're perceiving it, how it's working for you, and that is your truth. Name it and claim it. You are a bad bitch on a cellular level, and it's time for you to realize that. Okay. Bad bitch is gender neutral, by the way. Everyone has the energy of bad bitchery within them. It's just up to us to embrace it. Okay, so finally, I want to look at a misconception about yourself, love, or relationships that Spirit wants to clear up for you. So, Spirit, what is a misconception that pile 3 has when it comes to love and relationships that you'd like to clear up? And clarify that. So I think you have this misconception, and I think that this is a misconception that really is so outdated for you that I don't even think you consciously think that this is still here. And I think that this is partially what is in your subconscious. So for some of you, if this is a past person, you can have new love with them, but you're new and they're new. So like, they're not going to come in and be the same type of person they once were. They're going to be a more mature, evolved. They're going to be able to hold and sustain this type of relationship. And if you have anything but sweet companionship with them, then it's not them. I'll tell you that much. But I feel like you have this idea. You've definitely taken on on a subconscious level, some of the immature belief systems society at large has about love. And these are the stupid things that, you know, people with podcasts that really should be going to therapy scream into and say things that are not real or true, you know, things that shame the opposite sex, or things that disempower human beings, or things that this is how all people are and this is just how it is, or when you reach this stage you've missed out on, you can't have this anymore, you're only valuable until this age, or you're only lovable if you're like this. And it's just not true. I feel like you have this idea, like, you know, on a conscious level these things aren't true, but you haven't dealt with the fear of what if yet. But what if it's true? Because it's still shaping how you see things. And what it's creating is this belief within you that you're not ready for this type of love yet, and that you're not enough yet. And that's bullshit. The fact that we have the star here, you have this idea of like, well, I need to be this version of myself, or I need to heal this, or I need to do that, or I'm not healed enough yet, or I'm not at this place yet, because if I was, this person would be here by now. And you're not seeing that the healing you need is just self-acceptance and the recognition that you are worthy of the love that you want. I think that there is a part of you that is afraid of attracting a partner that agrees with these toxic, immature, egoic ideas that a lot of people spout about love that reverberates in the collective consciousness. Those people are not healthy people when it comes to their emotions. They're not healthy people when it comes to relationship and connection. And you are a lot healthier than those people. That's why it feels so weird to listen to that sort of rhetoric, even if it's just for a moment, because it just goes against what you know in your heart to be real. But the mind holds on to it and says, yeah, but what if it's true? What if it does happen? And the misconception you have is the idea that you would even attract the type of person that would be true for. I don't even think you would be attracted to that. Like, it's some, like, I've already sworn enough in this reading, so I'm gonna dial it back. But that's some weenie shit. That is some weenie little baby shit, okay? That is the type of shit, like, those people are not talking about love. They might think they're talking about love, but they're talking about connection in a way that is, they're talking about power and connection with those they want to subjugate. Or talking about connection in the frame of how they've been wounded by those who weren't healthy enough or healed enough to be loving in ways that mattered. And it's no judgment to them, but you really need to recognize that their experiences of relationships are not the overt truth. It's just their opinions. The reason why they get on a microphone and say those things is because they want them to be validated and reinforced. You need to validate and reinforce the type of love that you know you have, and the type of love you know you deserve, and the type of person that you know you are. And the type of love that you're able to give is also the type of love you're able to receive. And you also have to ask yourself, would I judge this person for that way? Do I believe that about love? Do I believe that? And you don't. You wouldn't do those things. And so what you need to understand and have confidence in is the fact that you're not going to attract a person like that. And if a person like that comes into your circle, you have the wisdom and discernment necessary to cut them loose and to not make yourself open to them. Because you will know they're incapable of having the type of sweet companionship that you want. Like and honestly, the resistance to the mental resistance that comes from these negative subconscious belief systems that, you know, really are only still there because there's slight insecurities, those are like a fart in the wind compared to what the power of the type of love that you can hold for yourself and for others. Like they mean nothing. Like the ravings of a person who has no understanding of what real love is has nothing when you feel and experience it and embody it. Like, love is the most powerful force in the universe, and it is not, I mean, I just think of that Corinthians quote, like, love is patient, love is kind, love allows, love gives, love does not boast or brag. Like, it is everything that, you know, those negative examples and those things are not. And you can remind yourself of that. And I know that, like, podcast is an example that's coming through, but I think that a lot of people, especially, you know, I think that a lot of people, when it comes to mature relationships, like, a lot of people are still learning and still growing, and a lot of people have had experiences where they don't know that things can be different, and that's their journey. But just because they can't see it and they don't know it's there or that it's real doesn't mean that it isn't, especially because you know deep down it is real. It's just that you're waiting to see it reflected outside of you enough to where it's a collective belief. And though it is a collective belief in certain collectives, it's not the dominant collective belief right now. And for understandable reasons, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. But I digress. One misconception that you have is just because you don't see it everywhere around you, that doesn't mean it can't happen for you. Maybe the reason you can't see it around you is because you're meant to be the example and inspire others to realize that there are types of love like this out here, and that it isn't impossible, and that it is not only possible, but that we're worthy of it. You are so much more than you think you are, and this love is so much powerful than your fears could ever distort it to be. Anyway, let's get into charms. So let's go ahead and see. These charms are just going to represent signs that you might see, symbols that are significant to this person coming in or significant to this relationship, and also letters and numbers, things like that. They can be confirmation or hints or signs. Take it as it resonates. So we have the number T. I am special. The number T. Didn't I say? I said I was just talking about the energy of bad bitch. Like, that's one thing. The two of you will be bad bitches. The letter T. We have the letter T. Oh my gosh. I was hearing 212 in my head by Azalea Banks. There's something that you two could serve together for sure. A word that I can't say because I said it too much once and got demonetized by YouTube. And guess what? I think YouTube are a bunch of see you next Tuesdays for censoring me like that. But, you know, it's just how it is. Okay, so we have the letters B, R, N, C, N, T. And I think that is it. So those are significant numbers. They don't have to be significant, but the state Tennessee is really coming through for me, or maybe the name Tennessee. You'll definitely be the only 10 they see. Also, maybe the number 10 is significant. We also have the number 9, but you can make it a 6 if you want, but it is technically a 9. So the month of September could be significant. Virgo energy could be significant. Or, you know, you could see 999 before this person comes in. Or maybe they are German or have German ancestry, or Germany in some way is significant. So, you know, the German word for no is 9. So there's that. I mean, we also have the Bad Bitch Club, which I was already talking about. And I definitely think that you are going to be in a bad bitch energy. And so is your person. You guys are going to make each other fiercer. And I also think that you guys are probably going to enjoy sharing memes or just have playful, fun things together. Like, I think you guys are going to be the right amount of sweet and saucy together. And I think that your person is really going to inspire you to be even braver than you already are. We also have this little shoe. So I'm just thinking of the phrase, if the shoe fits. But also, I'm thinking about Cinderella and the fact that people get that movie so wrong. Like, people act like Cinderella was this like meek, like, I don't have emotions or feelings. I don't care. I let people walk all over me because I'm a fairy princess and everything works out for me. Like, I'm just a vehicle designed to make women submissive. And it's like, no. That's what people who haven't watched the Cinderella has a mouth on her and she doesn't put up with shit. Like, she just is like evolved enough for whatever reason to not be as bothered by the psycho women she inhabits a home with that constantly abuse her. It's quite impressive. But I feel like you, maybe even you, or other people around you might have this idea. Like, the word soulmate might have gotten you. Maybe you don't believe in soulmates. I don't care whether you do or not. You're going to experience that type of relationship with this person, and maybe this is your first lifetime together. Maybe you establish a soulmate connection in this lifetime. It doesn't mean you know them yet or anything like that. It could be brand spanking new. I don't know. What I do know is that this type of sweetness and this type of love and this type of magic and this type of serendipity does exist. And there are people that are going to want to crap on it or act like it's not real or try to poke holes in it and believe that there's something different. And that's because they're not seeing in front of their face. Like, it's people that don't watch those movies. Like, yes, there are problematic tropes within them. I will say that 100%. But they're not as extreme, I think, as some people think. Like painting Cinderella as just this meek, mild victim. Like, I watched the movie like a year or so ago and I was like, wait a minute, like, she's way more badass than like people give her credit for. She doesn't give up. She, in the face of extreme cruelty, she doesn't let it get her down, and she believes in life getting better for her, and she believes in the face of that cruelty still being kind, but not minding being sassy behind their backs. Like, she's a cool person, and you are too. And the person that you're gonna have this love with is a cool person as well. And just people can't see what they can't see. And a lot of times people won't pay attention to what's really there because they're just projecting what they think exists. And what's really important is that you cannot let those projections get in the way of the love you know to be true. And another message, stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. Enjoy the sweetness. There's one shoe here. There's not another shoe. Like, don't miss out on a moment of wonderfulness that can exist between you and this person just because you're like, oh, but what if something else is going to happen? You know what you need to do when fear gets in the way? You just need to breathe, because that is what's gonna help you move through it. We also have Aquarius here. So Aquarius could be a significant placement. We also have friendly. So I do think that your person is going to be very friendly. And I do think you guys might start as friends and then become lovers. We also have the Sun, Moon, and Stars card and charm. And I feel like this is really symbolic, because what I feel it's talking about is just the fact that you guys are going to be everything to each other. Like you're going to be each other's sun, moon, and stars. Like, and yes, you're going to have lives outside of yourselves and like, it's just like, sometimes I feel like there is no room for people to enjoy healthy companionship, because there's so much emphasis on unhealthy and toxic companionship. And there's always that one guy that's like, you can have that alone. Yes, you can have that alone, but you can have that with another person. And it's okay to want that and to experience that. It doesn't make you codependent. It just, like, you can embrace how complete you feel with this person and the experience of that, you know? You can have wholeness and completeness without them, but you can also experience a type of wholeness and completeness with them that is unique and special, and you can cherish that. Don't push it away or let other people make you feel bad about having it, or make you feel like you're less of an individual for it. You guys are your own individuals. That's part of the reason why you're so damn attracted to each other. We also have this witch charm. So Halloween could be a significant time, or you guys could have you guys could meet around Halloween, or this person's favorite holiday could be Halloween. This person could do witchcraft, or if you are worried about witchcraft, of like witchcraft that is like harming you, like black magic or something like that, let me just tell you right now that it can't affect you. And the belief of that is the most powerful protection that you can have. And actually more powerful protection than that is to just have goodwill towards yourself and others, and to live a life of love, because that is the type of behavior that, like, that type of magic is not rooted in love. It's rooted in something else. And it's not stronger than your beliefs and where you're standing from. You're only actually vulnerable to it if you really truly believe it. And I'm sure there are exceptions and things like that, but ultimately you'll be okay. You'll be fine. Don't worry. Don't even let the fear of it get in the way, because nothing like that can impact this relationship. But I also think too, this type of sweet relationship might reveal ugliness in others that you weren't anticipating. And what you need to know is to see clearly when it reveals itself, but also don't take it personally or see it as personal. And don't take whatever they say or do to heart or as truth, because it is entirely about them. But also, if you are looking for ways to heal, you might want to look into doing like healing types of witchcraft, maybe just for yourself or for your heart or for releasing belief systems. That might be something beneficial for you. Okay, then we have a couple of different fortunes here. Cookies go stale, fortunes are forever. And so I do think that this is a type of relationship that's not going to go stale. I feel like no matter what happens between the two of you, there will always be love between the two of you. We have the numbers 11, 34, 24, 49 to 45. Bingo might be significant for you guys. Like the name, maybe there's an animal named that, or maybe the game. Listen to life and you will hear the voice of life crying, be. Yeah, like this is the type of relationship that's going to make you scream to be present, and to recognize the fact that like you have something so sweet and special. You will have something so sweet and special in front of you. And like, I feel like being in your head, you don't want to look back on precious moments with nostalgia and wish that you had appreciated them more, because you can be in them with this person and be fully present in them and enjoy them as they are. And I feel like that's going to be something where you guys help each other be more present and see the blessings in everything around you. We have 15, 13, 54, 43, 7, 31. And finally, we have constant grinding can turn an iron rod into a needle. So, and I think that this is a reminder of not letting those external beliefs and opinions get to you, because you could have a lot of strength and resolve and belief in yourself, and then maybe, you know, just be complacent or just like not realize that you're taking in a lot of messaging that's creating distress within you. And that's maybe a reminder to like reevaluate what you're holding on to as truth and whether it's supporting you or not. And for that we have 35, so 26 or 25, I think it's 26, 56, 10, 32, 52. But pile 3, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is one of the easiest forms to support my channel and show appreciation, so thank you to everyone who does that. I'm going to move over to the extended, so if you'd like to join me there, that's my favorite way and the best way to support me. So thank you to everyone who's going to go over there and join me. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to be vulgar and it's going to be fun. If you'd like to join me over there, that'll be linked down below. But if you are leaving me here, other ways to support me: leaving a like, subscribing, commenting down below, sharing this with your friends, whatever. All of that is super supportive and helpful, so thank you. You can also check out my candles. Be sure to use code ACE10 for 10% off. You can check out my merch, my social media. But to be honest, I'm really kind of, I don't know what I'm gonna do with social media. I hate social media. No, it's not what it used to be. I miss 2014 Twitter. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope you enjoyed this reading and it was what you were looking for. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Nurture card, this is going to be your reading on the potential new type of love that is coming to you, should you want it or not. There is a full breakdown of the reading in the intro, and for those of you that have questions about this part, please go there if you have questions. If the person that I'm describing sounds like you, then these are the types of qualities that you need to see these aspects of yourself in another person. This is someone, they may not be similar to you in anything other than these qualities. Obviously, if you don't like the type of person being described, pick another group. But we're gonna go ahead and start by looking at who this person is. So to start, we have the womb. We have child, wounded, awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. The shadow attribute is blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. And we have Pisces Venus with submission. So they could have Pisces placements or Venus placement, which would be Libra and Taurus. They could have a Pisces Venus. They do not have to. As a Pisces Venus, part of me is like, I sometimes classify it as a disease when I'm not seeing the benefits of it. But it is a very beautiful placement if they do have it. We'll get into that. But they don't have to have these things. And when it comes to astrology, you should only use it to confirm, not to deny. So for example, this person could have none of the placements I just listed and still embody those energies in different ways. The energy is more important than the placement. Take the placement as confirmation, not the absolute most important thing. Okay, these cards are going to represent the type of relationship you will have with this person. So for that, we have Saturn. We have amazing saxophones, lots of jazz between the two of you. You like jazz? You and your person will. And we have new love. Great. Embrace the opportunity for love in your work prospects or for spiritual growth or for a relationship, which, because they didn't list it, so I gotta say it. Yeah, this is definitely a new type of love. You have never been in a romantic relationship with this person before. It's quite likely you don't even know who they are yet. If you do know who they are, they would be quite different than how you remember them. But wow, there's a lot here. And I do feel for some of you, you will feel like this sounds like yourself. And that does not mean that the new love is you, which, like, you should love yourself, but you know, that's different. Okay. So talking about this person, the fact that we have the womb card here, there is a timeless aspect to their effect on you. This is someone who, when you meet them or when they come into your life, when it's time to, you know, move things along, they're going to be very focused on their own growth and their own healing. They will have done a lot of inner work, and they will be someone who takes responsibility for their, they take responsibility. They're a responsible person. They're also highly sensitive and compassionate and nurturing. The fact that we have Pisces Venus here, this is someone who loves deeply and unconditionally, and I would not be shocked if in the past they have been fooled by the insincerity of others. This is someone who loves so purely that they assume other people do too, and that's gotten them into trouble before. And I also think there's someone who's very the wind's blowing. The trees are saying hello. They are definitely somebody who has a lot of forgiveness and understanding for those who are not mature enough or healed enough to be that way to others. But they're also somebody who can be self-sacrificing and martyr themselves, and I think that's something they've been healing. I think it's so interesting. We have two different images of someone wrapping their arms around children. So this person could already have children when you meet them, or you both could find that with being with each other, your inner children are healed, or this person could have a very open desire to have children. It's also really interesting too, because the womb talks about the mother and Saturn talks about the father, and the womb goes beyond time, and Saturn is time itself. And I think what's really interesting is that when it comes to this person, they could have a very feminine energy. Now, what their gender, sex, things like that are, that's all across the board. Feminine energy is not dependent, and they could be quite, like, for example, this person could be quite masculine in their everyday life, but with you, I feel like they're very nurturing and accepting. Like, this is somebody who does not have expectations of others and does not judge others. They receive and accept. I would definitely say they are someone who does not like to be overpowering or dominant. At least with you, I feel like they will really care about making you happy. But also I think, but that's not for everything. Like, you know, maybe in an intimate context that might be completely different. I don't know. But I think when it comes to making you happy and when it comes to connecting with you, they're always going to want to make sure you feel good and nurtured and cared for. And actually, I held on to the nurturing card because I think that it describes perfectly the type of relationship you'll have. A gentle, understanding energy. It does not smother nor control, but gently guides what is growing in its own unique process, ensuring its safety and authenticity. I don't think that's the right version of ensuring, but that's okay. It's not about that. It's just my incessant eye for details like that drives me nuts. Anyway, this person is not like me because they wouldn't even comment on it. They would just move on. When it comes to them, like, I would be willing to bet you guys will bond over painful childhood experiences. And this person will have an emphasis on kindness. Like, this is someone who, even if, like, someone really pisses them off, like, they're not going to lash out at them. Maybe the unhealed version of them would, and they'll probably be open about that. I think they'll talk a lot about their past and how they used to be and what they didn't see when they didn't see it. I definitely think, though, that they also see the wounded child in others, and that allows them to be very understanding and patient and forgiving and compassionate. They are also somebody who has a gift for creativity in some way, whether it's music, art, writing. It could even be something like coding. They're cooking, baking. Like, there's an unlimited amount of ways in which this can manifest itself. But there's a spiritual nature to this person that loves all, rejects none, but has had to learn some painful, tough lessons in setting boundaries, because boundary setting and protection is not the same thing as rejection. But they might have viewed it as rejection in the past. I also think that this person is susceptible to people that bully others emotionally. And that is something that they've had to learn. Like, I think this person has experienced a lot of bullying in their life and has picked partners and people in the past that were just really honestly cruel to them or mean to them or made them feel trapped. But this person, and the hardest part is that this person loves so deeply. This is part of the reason why I call Pisces Venus a disease when it's not managed properly, because you can just love so deeply and unconditionally just some of the most shit people in existence. And it's very flippant of me to say that in that way, but I'm saying that from a non-Pisces Venus place, where sometimes love, like, it is a beautiful thing to look at everyone through the eyes of love, but in looking at everyone through the eyes of love, sometimes you don't see very necessary signs that someone is not a good person to share that love with at that time. And you know, their wounds are stronger than whatever else they have going on, and they don't seem interested in changing. And you get what I'm saying? I don't want to reduce anyone's experience to that, but sometimes people are just careless shits and don't recognize how their behavior impacts others and take advantage of others because nobody has done to them what they do to others, and so they just don't see the problems in it. I think that your person has had experiences with that, but still, at the end of the day, I don't think that they would, like, even me calling them shits, they probably are not happy with, because they're like, yeah, but like they're like that for a reason, and it's like, yeah, but part of the healing is recognizing that you don't have to see all that you can recognize that their part in your story was being a fucking shit, and probably a lot of other stories too, and you can just leave it at that for your own peace of mind and healing, and for the sake of expending your emotional energy in places that are more constructive and productive. So I definitely think that they're a very creative person. This is definitely someone who I think either loves children or wants children or already has children of their own. If you both have children, I think that they will love your children as theirs. Like, they are somebody who is definitely a sacred protector of the pure and the innocent and the vulnerable. They care about that a lot, and they do not take kindly to those who take advantage of that or harm that. As for the type of relationship you can have with them, well, first of all, no problems in the intimacy department. That seems to be a solid and enjoyable thing that you both are going to have a great time with. But with Saturn being here, there's heavy themes of commitment and endurance in a long-lasting type of relationship, where there's a strong foundation, expectations, and the relationship itself evolves and has a structure that nourishes whatever time requires of you both at that time. I know that wasn't worded very eloquently, but thank you for forgiving me. What I mean by that is like, you know, if what you both need in a relationship at one point in time together might be different at a different point in time, and what you're able to share together might be different. But it seems like no matter what time it is, it's always spicy time. There's always time for that, and it always seems to be an experience you're happy with. We'll look at that in the extended. I can't go into too much detail here, but I also think that this type of relationship is one that is completely new to the both of you. You've never had this type of relationship with anyone else. I think that maybe one or both of you had the experience of having types of connections where there was commitment and a solid foundation, but maybe a lack of passion and chemistry. Or you've had passion and chemistry, but a lack of commitment and foundation. And so this is the best of both worlds here. You guys are getting a Hannah Montana experience here, where you get both the structure and the passion. You get both the there is some limitations to it. Like, for example, parenthood could be a factor of this relationship, where, you know, you experience restrictions, you know. the amazing jazz that happens between the two of you could lead to restrictions in the future, and new types of love that you haven't experienced before, but it's welcome, and it's healing in its own ways. But definitely this is a type of relationship where you guys are not children, you are adults, which, like, I would fucking hope, because you better be 18. But I'm talking about on a literal level, like, or no, not on a literal level, on a more, your emotional maturity. Like, emotional maturity wise, you guys are, this is the most mature relationship either of you have ever had. And even if you guys were the more mature ones in other relationships, I think that both of you guys will really show one another that you still have growing to do as well. And it's easy to feel like you're the mature one in the relationship when the person you're in a relationship with is doing their own thing. That's the polite way I'm gonna put it. But yeah, overall a very solid relationship, one that's welcomed by the both of you, and one that has a structure that you both honor and support. It makes things easier, and you guys are creative. You create the type of relationship you want together. You receive a lot of nourishment and healing. Like, the biggest thing about this person is, like, you are going to feel held in their presence. You are going to feel safe in their presence. You are going to feel like they get you, and in the ways they don't understand you, you will see them and witness them do whatever they can to understand you in the most, and not from a lens of their own experience, but from your experience. Like, truly trying to understand you through your eyes and your experience. And I feel like it's going to be a very healing relationship for both of your inner children. And if children are part of the picture for the both of you, then you're also going to be healing generational cycles when it comes to parenting and, like, you know, how you treat your children. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of healing from the past, and rewriting narratives and writing a story that doesn't highlight the wounds of the past, but rather shows the growth and the wisdom, the growth that you've had, the wisdom from those wounds, and how that creates a present experience that's far more happy and aligned with what you've always wanted than what you knew before. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the tarot now. So while I'm shuffling, if you are interested, we are going to be doing an extended that will be spicy. So if you want to know more about this spicy aspect of the relationship, definitely that will be linked down below, because we're not only going to be looking at that though, we're going to be looking at how and when you meet this person, how and when you'll fall in love, what their friends and family will forgive you, what they will find unique and special about you, refreshing, what about you will turn them on. We're going to look at what they're going to want to do to you or with you. And we're also going to look at how your life is going to change in positive ways as a result of them coming into your life. So the reading's looking really beautiful so far. So if you're interested, that'll be linked down below. But if you are just here for the free reading and you would like to show your support or just appreciation or gratitude, liking the video, letting the ads play, a little comment, a little subscribe button, all of that really helps me. So thank you to everyone who does that. But if not, I'm just grateful you're here. So we're going to go ahead and start by looking at how you will know it's them. How will you know that this is the right person, that this is this person? So Spirit, how will pile number 4 know that this is the person for them? This is the person that we are talking about. Beautiful. You're going to know it's them because there's a sense of harmony. They're going to feel like home. Home in a way where you're not trying to convince yourself this is home. You know you're home. You know, and there's like a difference between the two of that. Like, you can make a place where you stay, but home is where your heart is. And you're just gonna feel so at home with them. And also with this 4 of Wands, there's just gonna be so much joy and lightheartedness. I can't help but also talk about the fact that the 4 of Wands is celebratory and joyful. Like, you and this person are gonna have lots of fun together, and you both are going to want a harmonious dynamic together. And you'll also know it's them because the people in your life will be supportive as well. They will see, like, if you've had friends in the past like tell you, hey, I don't know if this person is a good person to be with, or like I don't really like this person, you're gonna realize they really did have your best interests at heart, and they knew what they were talking about, because they are going to really like this person, and they're gonna be like, this is the type of person I saw you with, this is the type of love that I feel like you deserve, and like this is why I was so hard on, you know, these past people, because I knew they didn't give you what you deserved. And you're gonna find that things are just easy between the two of you, and there's a sense of excitement and like oh, I'm home, like when you're with each other. And it's so cool too, because like the colors coming out of the wands here are in this like womb card, and I really think that you're just gonna feel like you guys work so well together. There's synergy between the two of you, and like there's a symbiotic relationship happening where both of you just get so much and positively benefit from being around each other. And I feel like I'm about to sneeze, and so I'm thinking about a white horse, because if you have to sneeze, just ask yourself, have you ever seen a white horse? And then you'll stop sneezing. Try it on someone who's about to sneeze, and you will cockblock their sneeze. I'm telling you what. Oh, also something about your relationship is that there will be certain things that are black and white. And what I mean by that is that there will be no gray areas. You will know where each other stands, and you will know what is okay or what isn't okay. So you won't find out one day that this person is doing something that you feel like is disrespectful to you or makes you feel uncomfortable, because it will already be known that just wouldn't be something that either of you would be okay with. There's going to be very clear, like, this is okay, this isn't, this is what we stand for, this isn't. There's not going to be confusion. But also I feel like another thing that is going to show you that this is the person for you is like, they're going to come in at a time where you're like, oh yeah, this is what my healing, this is what this healing was for. This is why I didn't stop believing. You are journey baby, and you didn't stop believing. You held on to that feeling, and you are gonna know. You're gonna know it's them, because your vision for the future is gonna be aligned. Your vision for the type of life that you want to have, you know that you can have it with them. You create a safe environment together, and when you're together, you feel like home. What's better than that? Guys being dudes. I can't help but quote vines that are just ghosts of the past now. Okay, so now I want to see what makes this love so new. How will it be different and from past love? So what about this love is new for pile 4, please? Wow, okay. This type of love is different because it is the type of love, like, you finally met your match in the best way possible, where you guys are truly a team. You're not pulling your weight and their weight. Your back isn't breaking because you're carrying the relationship on for both of you. This is a mutual choice, and I feel like you will feel a sense of love and unconditional love for each other unlike you've ever witnessed. And I also think that you guys will just be on the same wavelength and understand one another in ways that you've never been this in sync with another person. And the crazy thing is in the ways in which you're not, you create structures in order to be. This is not the type of love where the other person is going to make excuses and say, well, I can't do that because that's just not me. Both of you are growing and changing. And like, both of you will always work together, that's for sure. You guys will be a team, and you will never feel like you have to prove yourselves to each other, or that like you guys truly prioritize one another. And there's also a mutual understanding between the two of you that there is some beautiful greater purpose to coming together. And like, I also think what's new and what's different about this is that there's a foundation of unconditional love between the two of you, and it's healthy. You know, it's not the type of unhealthy unconditional love where it's like, I'm gonna love you even if it's at the expense of my safety or well-being. This is, we can never fathom a reality where we accept a dynamic that neglects either of our well-being. It's respectful, it's loving, it's gentle, and it's precious. I don't know if this is the group where I said this love kind of felt like sitting by a campfire on a summer night, but I just feel like it just feels so good. It just feels better than any type of relationship you've ever had. And saying yes to this person and opening up to this person is going to be the easiest and best choice that you've ever make. And your person's going to completely agree with that. You're going to be 100% on board there. Okay, so now I want to see if there's anything you need to do or release to bring this love in. If you're already doing what I'm describing, then know you're doing enough. I already set the intention that like you're already bringing this in no matter what, but if there's anything that can make this process more make it faster or just more stable, you know, what could that be? So is there anything that pile 4 needs to release or create or do in order to bring this in that they're not doing? Yeah, there's nothing you need to do. If anything, just believe that it's happening, and also just be patient. I think you need to release the need to know when and the need to know how, because it's happening. Any hints that I can give you, Jupiter might be significant. You might want to look at, maybe for some of you, if Jupiter is close to transiting your seventh house, maybe that could be significant, or your 5th house. I don't know though. I'm not an astrology girly, so take that with a grain of salt. I definitely think though you can't miss it, and it's definitely going to happen when it's meant to happen and not a moment sooner. I know it's annoying, but it's how it is. The only part of you that's annoyed by it is your ego, so that's your problem. And the solution is that there's nothing to do but just be at peace at the inevitability of you and this person coming together and finding each other and having the love in your heart that you know is real. It's I think, but I do think you need to release the idea that your actions or your beliefs can thwart this. Like, it's happening, like it's solid, it's coming, it's like, as it is, like it is, period. Like that, you just need to believe in that and release the idea that it can't or it won't or it'll never. Just trust and flow. That's the best thing that you can do. Trust and flow with what is, and stay connected to your heart. Those are the best things that you can do, and there's really nothing else you need to do. Okay, finally, I just want to look at a misconception or belief that you have around love, yourself, relationships that's not serving you, that Spirit wants to clarify. So Spirit, are there any misconceptions that you would like pile number 4, that you would like to clear up for pile number 4, about themselves, about love, about relationships that they need to see? Okay. I feel like one of the misconceptions that you have is this idea that the universe doesn't know what you want. The universe doesn't know that this is what's in your heart. You've been creating this for a while now. This has been in your heart for a while. The universe knows. You've been in this process. You just consciously forget, and that forgetfulness creates fear that you have to start back at square one to create this again. You've already been creating this relationship. It's already been happening. But because it may not be happening according to your timeline, or because it may be taking more time than you're hoping, it might be creating a lot of stress within you that like you're doing something wrong, or it's being withheld from you, or it's being punished. None of that is true or real. It's coming. The 7 of Pentacles is literally all about just tending to what's here and trusting that your garden and what you're creating is continuing to flourish. It just requires patience and surrender. Like, this is an answer of yes, and yes, this is coming, and you need to be patient and continue cultivating what you're already cultivating, because this is going to come in the perfect time, in the perfect way. And sometimes that has nothing to do with what you're doing and everything to do with the other person getting into alignment and needing to be at a certain place in their life before they're ready, or before things can come together. You know, sometimes there's logistics outside of it. Maybe you're both ready, but maybe you're unable to be in the same physical location and actually meet one another, you know, for a couple months. You just never know what the circumstances are. And there's this misconception that if things are not happening the way that you think they should be, or the way you thought they would, you believe that you're doing something wrong, or that you're messing it up, or that it's being denied to you, and that's just not the case. You need to reground yourself in those moments and remember that what's in your heart has already been planted. What you've been creating, it has been here for a while. It's not going anywhere. But, you know, the mind can race and convince itself of a lot of things. So you need to remind yourself in those moments that just because it's not here yet doesn't mean it won't come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And you're creating a really solid foundation for yourself already that you do need to recognize is very special and very powerful, and to not discount it, to know that your person is doing the same, that this person is doing the same, and that your patience will be rewarded. Divine things don't happen always on the timelines we would like them to, because if they did, they wouldn't be divine. And I think just all you need to know is that just because things have happened differently and sooner for other people doesn't mean it won't happen for you. Everything is okay, and nothing is your fault, and you can't mess it up. That's the best thing that you can do, is believe that you can't mess it up. You're already doing everything and in alignment. Like, you're fine. Everything is fine. The hardest part is just knowing that your love is there, and that this love is coming, and that it's just not here yet. But the best thing that you can do is know that it is here. You just haven't caught up to it yet. It just hasn't grounded yet. But you get closer and closer every day. It makes me think of Twilight's been kind of a theme in these readings for different reasons, and it makes me think of Alice. Alice is a character in the she's one of the vampires, and she has precognition, so she can see the future. And she knows that she's getting her Confederate soldier, youngest major in the Texas Cavalry. She knows that she's getting her man, but she knows 60 years before it happens. So she has a lot of waiting to do before that happens. And I think one of the blessings and curses of knowing something is going to happen in your heart and having that powerful knowing is that when it's not here, it requires waiting. It requires like setting the stage, and it requires patience. Obviously, well, the great thing is that you are not immortal unless you are a vampire and watching me. That's interesting. I would say highly unlikely though. You're definitely not gonna have to wait 60 years, I can tell you that much, and you're definitely not gonna have to wait that long, and it's all already happening. You're closer than you think. You just need to let go of if and know that it is inevitable. It is inevitable. You can't mess it up, and nobody can sabotage it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and finish off this reading using charms, and we're just gonna be looking at signs, numbers, letters that could be significant to the new love that's coming in, to the relationship itself, anything spirit wants to add. So interesting, we have the bird, we have the cage again. So I definitely feel like there is an aspect to this relationship that is very freeing for the both of you, where you feel free in ways that you haven't, where you've been trapped in the past, where you've been caught up in your head. You're not going to have that same have those same problems. But also birds, like songbirds, could be significant. There could be a significant bird shared between the two of you. Like, you guys could have a favorite bird. What is your favorite bird? My favorite bird is a bluebird. I love them. I love their little chubby bellies, and yeah, they're so cute. Okay, so yeah, I think there's a really freeing aspect of this relationship for the both of you. Let's just do letters first. So we have 2 E's and 2 A's. So maybe you both like video games, because I was just thinking of like EA, Electronic Arts. But also I think that one or both of you could have repeating letters in your name, or have very similar names. Like the name Amelia was coming through. We have a W, but I guess you could make it an M. I think you guys are going to be, like, we have the word awe. I think you guys are going to be in awe of how special this connection is, and like in awe of just how it comes together. And also I'm seeing the word fae. So like there could be some fairy aspects here. I guess that's more dependent on your cosmology, but I do think there's a light, free, fun element to this connection. Oh, well, there's the M. So so an M, and we have a T. Yeah, I mean, we have the words mate, so on a literal level, you guys will definitely love doing that. We also have the word fate. So I do think that there is a fated aspect of this connection, and I think that few will be able to understand your logic until this person comes into your life and they can see it for themselves, because it's just hard to fathom what does or what will exist between the two of you. Okay. Feet could be significant as well. We have, it's time for you to explore all those new interests. So I do think you and this person will either explore new interests together, or exploring new interests could be something that brings this person in, or brings about some important shift. Numbers, we have 11, 34, 24, 49, 2, 45. We also have the number 9 and the number 3. So this person could be born in 1993, or 1993 could just be significant in some way. I highly doubt they were born in 1939. That could be possible, but I don't know how many 39ers we got still kicking. Good for them if they are. To be honest, though, I doubt it. I doubt they're here. Everything originates from the seed of determination. Oh my God, that is so creepy with the womb being here, because I feel like this love partially manifested in this lifetime for you because you wanted it. You both wanted it, and you both were determined to have a love like this. But also when it comes to your relationship, anything you guys want to create together, whether it is children, a family, career goals, traveling, projects, whatever, the both of you will make it happen through sheer determination. And I think one thing as well, like you guys, I feel like your souls were determined to do things right this lifetime, which is really cool. And numbers here, we have 43, 2, 49, 31, 18, 19. We have the Libra charm, so this person could have Libra placements, or Libra season could be significant. We have charming, so yeah, this person could definitely be very charming, or charming with all these charms out. Or there could be just something very charming about your relationship together. But also Libra is about partnership, and I think that this person is going to be a great partner. I think things are going to be very balanced between the two of you, and like neither of you are gonna feel like the other is not pulling their weight. We have 2 teddy bears. So I just feel like that is such a sign that you guys are gonna have so much inner child healing. But there have also been like 2, I've never experienced this before, where there have been so many like kid themes. So like maybe 2 children is significant. Maybe you guys will have 2 children, or maybe one of you both have a child, and so you come together and you have this blended family. But I think on a deeper level, like you guys could have like a big family. Or if that's something you don't want, well, no matter what, like your inner children are healing together. And I do think that there is, I don't think once you find each other, you will not bear being apart. And it will be impossible to hibernate on one another. And I think that you guys will just find that your relationship is sweet like honey. And I think you guys will love hugs with each other, and will just feel very safe and very cherished with each other. You guys will be each other's comfort zones, and I think that there will be a lot of inner child healing between the two of you. We also have Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys, and I feel like it's really correlated with this Five of Swords. You guys are going to heal a lot of wounds around betrayal and rejection, and just in general, the wounds that come from antisocial behavior from others. So I definitely think that's going to be something very special for the both of you, where you guys also learn how, you know, just like setting boundaries and caring for yourselves is not that. Like, you're not the villain for saying no to something you don't want to do. And also realize where you're not responsible, where other people might try to project responsibility onto you. You know, Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys. You guys are going to realize where other people's struggles are not your job to fix, and where you don't need to be you don't need to be so focused on the drama of others or the things that just have nothing to do with you. You guys are going to be really focused on each other. We also have the Eiffel Tower. So France could be significant, Paris could be significant, or just travel in general. 1888 could be a significant year or a significant number, 888 especially. That was the year that the Eiffel Tower was built, I believe. I do think there is just something iconic about your relationship and about this person, where like it's just very symbolic. But also, you know, what is Paris? It's called the city of love. It's a very well, I think it is. Being in Paris, it's still a city. So, I mean, like, you can have the romance, absolutely. I mean, it's a beautiful city, but it's still a city. But I just think there's a beautiful romantic element to it, where I think there will be certain classic, almost even cliche aspects of your relationship where maybe you didn't believe in certain cliches in the past or thought they were dumb, and now you embrace them wholeheartedly because of the love that exists between the two of you. And Paris is also the city of lights, right? So, you know, I think there's a lot of light to be shared between the two of you. And yeah, I think that it's something very special that you guys share. And okay, we also have melancholy. So I do think that you guys will be a beautiful refuge for each other when you are going through states of melancholy. I think that you guys are going to be a wonderful safe space for each other and be very validating of each other's emotions and whatever is going on within you. But also, you might feel a bit melancholy until you meet one another, just on a subtle level, because even though you're living your life and you're happy and you're content, it's like, you know, deep down there's someone missing, like there's something missing. And I think that this person might feel that way before you come into their life. I should be happy, I should be content, I have everything I need. And I think what they're gonna realize is like, oh, I see why. It's like their spirit knew that it was missing an important piece of the puzzle, and you're that piece. We also have the luggage. To travel is to live. So I definitely think traveling is going to be a big part of your relationship. You know, maybe one of you is French too. I didn't mention that. Or has French ancestry or speaks French. Maybe you are French Canadian. Maybe you speak Quebecois. Maybe you'll hang out in Montreal. I don't know. But I do know that you guys will love to travel together and really will enjoy having experiences together. Like, as a family, I definitely think you guys are going to be like an experiences over things family, where you guys will, you know, do things like have a trip instead of like give like tons of presents on a holiday, for example. But I think that like you guys will love having new experiences and exploring together, and just growing as people. I definitely think you will love traveling and exploring together. And traveling is an important aspect of our relationship. You know, you see who people are in that way. And like, for example, Kino and I traveled for like it wasn't, I don't know if it was over a month, it was almost a month. And it was like, it was awesome. Like, no problems. Like, and I think that that's going to be similar for you guys. Obviously that situation is completely different. That's not a romantic thing, but for you guys it'll be a romantic thing, but it's just like you guys will work well together. And I was even nervous, like, because I was like, I've never traveled for a month with someone. I don't know if that'll like what if something happens, and it was fine. Like, it was great. Yeah, because you just get along, and like, yeah, like, we're here to have a good time. Like, there's no drama. Like, that is the type of thing you guys are gonna have. And with the Four of Swords here, I definitely think that there's just going to be a lot of healing, especially a healing of the mental body that this person is probably currently doing right now. They could be sleeping a lot right now too. If you're sleeping a lot, maybe you're both sleeping a lot, and you haven't even met one another and you guys are already on the same page. But I definitely think that there's a lot of healing when it comes to this relationship, and a lot of growth and exploration. And I think that this relationship is one where it's just like you feel like you can finally rest, and it's a relief, and you no longer have to force things or feel uncertain or feel like the rug's going to be ripped out from underneath you, because you know each other, you trust each other, and you build a foundation together that you both love and cherish and are grateful to experience together. So pile 4, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the extended now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to do that in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles, you can check out the extended, you can like, comment, subscribe, and check out other videos. Ones with extendeds, hype me up. You can use code ASO10 for 10% off of my candles. I think I said that already, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated and it was everything you were looking for. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!